Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Woodward Show here on the Woodward Sports Network Live. WoodwardSports.com from Feldman Chevrolet in Novi. Jeff, good morning, buddy.
How are you? I'm good. It's a good weekend.
Oh, it was a great weekend. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I mean, although, the Red Wings are they're on a losing skid, but we got to see some of the combine, the quarterbacks playing. You saw social media explode, and not just local social media. This is NFL-wide. Anthony Richardson, right? I mean, your favorite guy, one of your guys at the draft. Tested. He athletically was off the charts. You
didn't last 2 minutes without bringing up Anthony Richardson.
But I couldn't wait. I had to dive right into it. I didn't get a chance to talk to you over the weekend.
Yeah. Well, look, you know what? Today is day one. Officially no fish.
I know.
New chapter for the show. So we'll introduce our new friend in just a little bit while we get adjusted here at Feldman. But the Pistons, they suck.
Yeah.
The Red Wings.
Yeah,
not looking great probably for the rest of the year. I think we can all acknowledge this. What are you going to do? Steve Yzerman came out and said if he believed it was a contender, he would have gone all in. They would have been buyers. They would have committed on some expiring contracts like Bertuzzi till the end of the year. But that wasn't the case for the Wings. And honestly, I'm okay with it.
Yeah, and Steve,
I'm okay with it.
You see Steve's press conference? He was. Yeah. That's the most, I guess, frustrated Steve probably will get, and you saw him passionately explain, like, listen, straight up, this team, even if they made the postseason, I know them winning kind of delayed some stuff, but even if they made the postseason, they were never doing anything. He's very self-aware enough to know that, and they weren't even going to trade. I think he mentioned the Hronek trade.
Yep.
They came to him with that offer. So he's
like, well, I'm not passing up on this, so what do you want me to do?
I love it, man. He was very, very transparent with the media, and I think for Yzerman, for him to even get criticism for even the moves he made, I don't know if media was asking about it. I love it. I mean, the Red Wings, to me, were never winning anything anyway, so you might as well start your offseason early, collect those assets, and we'll see what he does with the money in the summer.
Well, look, let's talk that talk, huh? NFL Combine. My goodness. Everybody showed out for the most part. Few disappointing players, but who wants to talk about the negative? Let's talk about the positive. Quarterbacks all put on a show.
Yeah, they did.
Everybody put on a show. Bryce Young, undersized, came in at 5'10 and an eighth, I believe.
Yeah.
His comp exactly, by the way, height, weight, you name it, is Kyler Murray.
A little heavier, though. Did you notice that?
I can't wait to have that
Slightly heavier.
Yeah, but...
Because they said he'd be 195. He was like 204. So
thankfully, I'm glad he was at least working on his weight, but nothing you can do about the height. Maybe bigger studs on the cleats. Who knows?
Yeah, that's all you're doing.
But this is what you need to do. You need to have this conversation. I think we're all... How do I say this? I wake up on a Monday morning, even last night, before I even woke up, right? Mm-hmm. Before I went to bed last night, I was thinking to myself, man, I got to do a show tomorrow. No fish. I talked to Jeff about the NFL Combine. Honest to God, like, what did I actually think of this? What did I actually think? You know what? I thought a bunch of nothing, to be honest. Like, nothing surprised me. I expected Levis, Richardson, Young, everybody to put on a show. I expected C.J. Stroud to have the best throwing combine, and he absolutely did, because I told you a month and a half ago that he was the best NFL-ready passer coming out. Now, that doesn't mean he'll be the best quarterback, but of all the quarterbacks coming out, this guy made the most NFL throws at Ohio State. And you saw it on display at the Combine. You saw Anthony Richardson break records, run around in his underwear, backflip. Oh, my goodness, he was backflipping. Oh, my goodness, I couldn't believe what I was watching. And then you had Will Levis put on the show. The quarterbacks dominated the headlines. Yeah. They really did. And, again, I just think it's funny because we all go into the Combine with the mentality, I'm going to watch the tape, and I'm going to let the tape maybe tell me 70% of the story, 60% of the story, depends on who you are.
Right.
And I'm going to let the Combine and my involvement and everything I'm seeing in person dictate the other 30, 40%. And typically that's fine. But boy, on a Monday,
Oh, yeah.
AR-15. Well, he doesn't associate with that, so maybe I shouldn't say AR-15 anymore. Apparently, that's offensive, but what are you going to do?
Regardless.
Anthony Richardson stole the show. He really did. It wasn't impressive to me. Was he fast as hell?
Absolutely.
Hell yeah, it was. Did he break the vertical jump record? Hell yeah, he did.
Well,
did he break almost every other record for a quarterback? Yeah. Did he backflip? Yeah.
But you know the conversation he put himself in terms of his athleticism scores, right? Compared to previous quarterbacks.
I want to say, tell me I'm wrong.
Okay, I got top all five of them right here.
There's five.
Four other ones besides
4 other quarterbacks
Rich.
that were similar.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go Vic.
No.
Oh, okay. Cam Newton.
No.
What? Okay, I get 4 guesses.
Yeah, this is what threw me off too. You get one of them.
I will get one of them.
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts.
No. You're gonna be so thrown off.
Are you fucking with me?
So let me read it. So Anthony Richardson had number 1. He had a 99. Robert Griffin had a 99 as well. That athleticism score.
Oh, the RAS score.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
I get what you were going for. But
sorry.
this is total athleticism. They take all of it and combine it. Robert Griffin, Tyree Jackson,
who?
Trevor Knight, Tyrod Taylor.
Who?
So that just kind of shows you the importance of athleticism at the quarterback position.
Who the fuck are these? These are quarterbacks.
Yes, they are.
Tyrod Taylor, Trevor Knight from Texas A&M. Anybody ever heard of Trevor Knight? I didn't even know he went to Texas A&M.
Well,
Tyree Jackson. I don't know what the hell he is.
And that's the point. And I'm glad you brought up tape. Because with C.J. Stroud, and the reason we've been higher than most on him is because we have tape. We got to see him against Georgia. Anthony Richardson, to me, is as much as we can all admit we love the talent, right? The deep ball, his athleticism. When you watch the tape, like that's something you're going to have to think about. Okay, if he's coming into my organization, can we properly develop him? And can we not? He's not going to start right away. I know I was talking to Maz about that. There's no way in hell he's starting day one. So you got to be able to groom him, and you got to have a great coaching staff and a great offense. He's got to have a lot of things he's walking into. The Lions have a great offense, but for Anthony Richardson at 6, I don't understand that conversation. That's the only thing I can't wrap my head around.
Okay, so
is him being a top 5 pick?
Well, don't. No. Forget the Lions for a minute, okay? Let's talk about Anthony Richardson as a prospect, huh? Let's do it. You're a GM. You're an NFL team. What do you like about Anthony Richardson? Obviously, the athleticism is unbelievable. The size, the arm strength, wow. Okay. You look at the tape, it's not the prettiest, but then there are instances where you see just magic, really. Mm-hmm. He's made throws really off his back foot, rolling to his left. Pinpoint accuracy at times, but it's not consistent enough.
Right.
So you're like, okay, wait, what do I do with this kid? Right? I bring him into my football team. Do I want to take a chance? Well, the comps right now are Josh Allen, because Josh Allen came out of Wyoming with a 54% completion percentage. Really different. I think they're really different, but to an NFL scout, if Buffalo made it work, why can't we make it work?
Right. Well, yeah.
And if the GM says, if Buffalo made it work with Josh Allen, with what they gave him, and then they finally added Diggs, and then it set him off, what's stopping us? Do we have the right situation? Do we not? What do we need to make sure he's a hit? Again, you can sell me on the idea that a team is going to take him in the top 12, top 15. You can sell me on that.
I get it. I just wouldn't.
I just think it's hilarious that we all kind of have our reservations, and then once we see them in their underwear, let me tell you, Jeff, we did this last year. Mm-hmm. Now, was Malik Willis the athlete? Did he have the size? Did he have the arm strength of Anthony Richardson? No. God, no. It's not even remotely the same. But we do this every year. So, fuck it. I'm just going to get used to it. I'm just going to enjoy it. I'm not going to think too much of it. But the quarterback stole the show. You had wide receivers show out. Ronnie Bell had a good combine. You want to talk locally, Mozzie Smith, I think had the most bench presses this past
he's
weekend.
A unit.
DJ Turner ran the fastest 40, 4.23, ridiculous speed.
Yeah.
It was nice, man. It was a good showing. It was a good showing for a lot of players. We got a good show coming up. 8:15, we'll continue with the NFL Draft Combine. 8:30, your fan submitted mock drafts. We'll go over those. 8:45, Bryce Young measures in at 5'10". His comps are Kyler Murray. And my question to everybody at home is, do you pull the trigger if, one, you're an NFL team, and two, if you're the Lions and he's there at 6 due to size concerns? That's my question to everybody this morning. 9 o'clock, Mock Draft Mondays, of course. I'll give my mocks at 9 o'clock. Jeff will give his at 9:15.
You're going to like mine today.
You know, thankfully, I saw yours before I did mine. And I sat there and I was like, my goodness, Jeff's got balls. Jeff's got balls. So I was like, you know what? Let's have fun too. So I made some moves. So I can't wait to show you mine. 9:30, Dan Campbell, the favorite to win Coach of the Year. Guys, the betting favorite to win the NFC North. Now the favorite to win the Coach of the Year. Expectations matter.
They do.
This is insane to me. So we'll have that conversation at 9:30. All that and more coming up. But before we go, before we come back with more Combine talk, Jeff, our good friends over at Chili Peppers Tanning.
Let me tell you about them, guys. Our friends over at Chili Peppers Tanning. You can check them out. Find them. The cleanest salons in the D with trained and certified tanning professionals. Join the Pepper Club for all the best deals. They'll beat all competitors by $5. ChiliPeppersTanning.com. Hottest bulbs, hottest deals, darkest tans, your vitamin D headquarters. 27 locations and more on the way.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Beverly Hills Golf, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Fellas, let's be honest. We like things to be easy. We like simple stuff, like sports 7 days a week. We like things uncomplicated, like Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Sign in, sit down, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win. Woodward Sports, Detroit's winning sports network.
Seafood Fest is back at Big Boy. Catch it while you can. Some favorites like during Lent, like shrimp Alfredo, shrimp stir fry, and the new fish sandwich. Get to your local Big Boy today. Don't forget the all-you-can-eat fish fry buffet on Friday nights. Shout out to Fish.
Shout out to Fish. Shout out. You know, it's our first show without Fish, and I got to say, I enjoyed my Monday morning. I love Fish, but he annoys the fuck out of me from 7 to 7:59. Now, having said that, I do miss the little shit. I do miss him.
And it is JB's first day.
I wonder what he's doing right now. It is JB's first day. JB, by the way, welcome to the show, buddy.
Hey, what's up, fellas?
What's up,
How
man?
you guys doing?
We're happy to have you. Hope you have a good time. And
honestly, the whole thing for JB, we went out and watched the fight this weekend, and we were talking about it. JB, compared to Fish, two different humans. Like, to replace Fish, there is no
There's
level
no replacing Fish.
Yeah, like, he's his own unique. We got JB because JB brings a lot of qualities that we love.
Well, you know what? You brought up something. We didn't touch on it in the first segment.
Yes.
I'll give you a minute. My introduction to the UFC a long time ago was John Jones.
Mm-hmm.
It was one of the reasons I watched the sport when it wasn't really mainstream, however you want to define it. He came back, submitted gun in less than, 2 minutes?
I know. Yeah, it's unreal.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, it was funny. We were watching the fight. My brother showed up. He's like, "Hey, I'm gonna show up for the last fight. I want to see John Jones." He shows up, sits down at our table,
Fight's over.
gets right back up. We left. Well, there you go. I had a parlay actually. I was gonna come brag to you, but I bet on Shevchenko, and
you fucked up.
Yeah, that was the one fight that didn't hit. So I was gonna text you, Adam. Look at you, son of a. Look at all the money I just won. Took an L that night. That's why I don't bet. I leave it to him.
John Jones wasn't a heavy favorite though.
No, he wasn't.
I didn't realize that until the fight had started. Had I known, I would have refinanced the house.
Yeah, it was like
and
it was
dumped it on
minus
like,
130
what are we doing?
or something like
Never
that.
lost in the UFC. He's gonna lose to some Frenchie. But anyways, Combine.
Yes.
The Combine is one of the best times of the year, heading into the really the weeks before the draft. The draft this year, April 28th, I believe. Look, we got over a month. And this is where prospects rise, they fall. Guys shoot up the boards, they fall down the boards. Beydoun Robinson now being compared to Barry Sanders, which, honest to God, I think that's hilarious.
Unfair, though. I hate that.
It's not just unfair, it's unrealistic. Not because Barry's the greatest running back of all time. Actually, it has nothing to do with that. Barry Sanders, I think people forget what he did his last year at Oklahoma State. Over 2,000 yards rushing, 30-plus touchdowns. I don't even have to get into it. Beydoun's nice. He's a very good player. We got to stop this stupid shit. So whoever put out the article on NFL.com comparing Beydoun to Barry Sanders, go fuck yourself. I don't care that he's agile and that he bends people and, boy, he breaks things. I don't care. There's only one Barry Sanders. There will never be another one in today's game or the future game. It is impossible.
Did you see Chris Johnson give some flowers to Jahmyr Gibbs?
I saw.
He had a pretty good combine, too, Jahmyr. In a running back class that everyone figured, and I still believe Beydoun and the rest of the field, some guys came to play.
Comp coming out, which is flattering, is Alvin Kamara and Chris Johnson.
It's a pretty good class.
Not bad. Yeah. He's clearly the best pass-catching back, though, coming out.
No question.
And this is what we acknowledged. I think the first time you did a player spotlight, we had Jahmyr Gibbs in there, and his best attribute was his pass-catching ability, which is a dynamic I think a lot of teams want from a running back in today's NFL. But overall, you saw Kalijah Cansey put in work. Jack Campbell, by the way. Jack Campbell put in a higher athletic score than I thought he would, which really impressed the living hell out of me. I don't think, and I'm just going to play spoiler right now, I don't think you will ever see me do another mock draft and at pick 55,
not have Campbell
Jack Campbell is not there. I may have to consider him at a pick higher at 48. He is everything you would want and more. I think he's a Dan Campbell player. And forget Dan Campbell. I think he's a very good linebacker. You're going to want him. I thought he really impressed. Lucas Van Ness impressed.
I'm just waiting.
Christian Gonzalez impressed.
I'm just waiting until you get to him. You know who? Who else impressed you? Tell him.
Joey Porter Jr. impressed. Devon Witherspoon impressed. And, of course, Emmanuel Forbes. He showed out, man.
Yeah, super light. You know, he's only like $170, but still the speed's there. I mean, you're in a 4.35.
Can we talk about Christian Gonzalez? Maybe sidebar 2 minutes.
He crushed the combine.
Every single drill, crushed it, and not only crushed it, effortless.
Yeah, smooth.
It was effortless,
super smooth. Like,
how do you define smooth for a corner? That's kind of a weird thing to say, but it's true.
Hip fluidity.
It was so.
It was effortless. Yeah.
Phenomenal. We had more people running really low 40s this year, by the way. Insane speed across the board. You look at linemen, one of the fastest showings, in total by defensive linemen we've seen in years past. That's impressive as hell. But, of course, everybody's going to want to talk about Clayton Tune throwing the ball really well. I mentioned C.J. Stroud earlier, Levis, Richardson, Bryce Young. Bryce Young didn't participate, but he did measure in.
Right.
Jeff, who had the best combine? We'll go by position. Let's start with the quarterback position. Who do you think did the most for their stock? I'm not talking about who you like the most, but who did the most for their stock?
I would say it's a tough one between two guys, Will Levis and C.J. Stroud, because in a quarterback class where we all acknowledge, including myself, Bryce Young to me is the best quarterback. I know the size holds people back, but if he's 6'2", he'd be the number one pick. I do believe that. Now, Will Levis has been somebody that's been teetering and somebody that I've been more accepting of as of late, just seeing the, intangibles, the tangibles. I know he's not, people are rating him higher than C.J. Stroud, which is really my biggest thing. I think C.J. to go out there and throw the ball like he did. He didn't honestly have to throw the ball, but he came in, competed, threw it well. I think C.J. boosted his stock, but Will Levis to me, just the quote he had at the Combine when they asked him, he's like, I just want to show off my cannon. And then he goes out there and he threw it well. So Will Levis and C.J. Stroud out of the quarterbacks. I knew what Anthony Richardson was doing athletically. I don't want to say I predicted it, but I'm not surprised he tested so well.
What do you think of everybody going to Twitter?
I knew he had a deep ball, but Will Levis and C.J. Stroud, those two guys.
What do you think of everybody reacting to Anthony Richardson's short and intermediate throws over the weekend?
Throws specifically to his left side, he was either short or too high. He was messing him up. Even the out routes, he was struggling a little bit. That stuff scares me. Like that's an NFL throw you got to complete. Like CJ didn't struggle with that. Will Levis looks pretty good. Like if Anthony Richardson, you're struggling short to intermediate, love the deep ball, but those guys are also open. They're open. You're not going through progressions.
What concerns me isn't that they miss the throws. This is zero pressure.
No pressure.
Situationally, you have nobody in front of you. You're not throwing over your linemen. This is literally 7-on-7, meant to make you look good. I remember when I did 7-on-7s in high school. That was the time to just have fun and show out. Mm-hmm. This was no pressure. You had the pressure of calling the right play and making sure everybody knew what they were supposed to do. But other than that, we're throwing the rock, man. Yeah. That was it.
You had no pressure, literally. No pressure.
So
so again,
I've got my own concerns with Anthony Richardson outside of what we saw at the Combine. I do think a team will take a chance on him in the first round. I hope it's not the Lions. But we'll get to our mocks later. Fan mocks, by the way. You guys haven't changed. You're still submitting your mocks, but it looks like nobody changed their mind outside of one individual on who they want at 6. It has not changed. Like, across the board, everybody, for the most part, from what I'm seeing, they want the same 2 position groups. Now, the players are different, but people want the same position groups, man.
And that's why I think the corners, to me, Gonzalez, like in a group of corners, I know Witherspoon didn't test, he had a hamstring injury, but still the corners, Gonzalez, Joey Porter, even my guy Emmanuel Forbes, like for those guys to go out and test well, especially Gonzalez, the guy there's a couple guys that are competing for that number 1 spot. Gonzalez did himself a favor, and I said last week I'm becoming more skeptical of taking a corner at 6. If you're going to take a corner at 6, to me it's Gonzalez, clearly. But even if you could trade back and you get a guy like Joey Porter, didn't test the 40 well, but he's faster than that, I believe.
It was still a good 40 time.
It was 4.54, something like that. It wasn't terrible. But still, I think the corners did themselves a favor, especially Gonzalez. He's got to be a top 10
pick.
I
think he had the best combine of everybody at the top of the board in terms of corners.
Yeah, I've warmed myself up to the idea of taking a corner. I still want to trade back.
Trent Simpson showed out.
Another one, yeah.
Darnell Washington was another show out, by the way. What do we think of him? I don't think first round, but if you're going to draft Michael Mayer and Dalton Kincaid in the first round, I'm not talking about Detroit, just in general. Mm-hmm. If they're going to be first round picks, why the hell wouldn't the physical specimen?
He's a freak.
6'7". Can do it all.
Did you see him push the sled?
Yeah, he pushed the living shit out of it.
Dude, he's like the prototypical extension of your offensive line, and you can use him in the pass game. Like, that's why Darnell, to me, I highlighted him already.
He gives me
on our
Gronk
spotlight
vibes coming out of Arizona State.
Yeah, huge.
I'll tell you
physical.
why. Not because he'll be Gronk in the NFL. That's a bit steep, but Gronk fell because of off the field issues. Mm-hmm. Darnell Washington, there's not much to really be concerned with. If we're talking about Kincaid and Mayer as first-round picks, why the hell wouldn't he be? I'm very interested to see how his board looks over the next 2, 3, 4 weeks.
He had to play behind Brock Bowers, too. Like, people don't think about that. Like, Kincaid and Michael Mayer were the go-to guys at their university. Darnell never really had that opportunity. So, again, if you're looking at athletic freaks, he is one. And speaking of the tight end position, I think Darnell probably did himself the best moving his draft stock because
solid.
You see him in the 2nd, 3rd round. I think after this weekend, he's got to be a 2nd-round pick, if not late 2nd-round pick.
All right, Kalijah Kancey. my boy.
Yeah,
he showed out. You saw a lot of how would I say this? You saw a lot of confirmation over the weekend watching the combine. You saw players that you liked show out. I didn't watch even Joey Porter. It's a 4.5, man. That is such a marginal difference.
Yeah.
And yes, at a position that is so difficult to play, maybe it makes all the difference. To me, it doesn't. I think his hips are fluid. I'm not concerned with his ability to rotate. The 40 time to me is the least of my concerns.
I agree. I think Brian Branch's 40 was a little more concerning because he almost ran a 4.6. It was like 4.58. And again, Brian Branch is a great player. It's not all about speed. I mean, guys play faster than which they run, but still 4.60.
It's a track-based test.
But it also
if
helps.
If you run track, you're so good at it because your jump off is literally all the difference. Once you get a running start, if you can stay straight, your 40 time is going to be really good. Now take that really good 40 time and add a track type start. It's not everything. It really isn't. I think it's overblown.
I think part of it, yes, but the other part, like Tariq Woolen, he ran one of the fastest 40s ever. And you watch him in games, his ability to be able to recover and make plays, that's where the speed comes in. I think you look at splits more. Like Will Anderson wasn't flying up and down the 40, but still the 10-yard split. That's what you look off. The get off is what you're looking at. And some of these guys like Cansey, for example, I know he ran fast.
Hurt himself though. I don't think Branch hurt himself.
No, I don't think he hurt himself. But if teams are looking at
he's still still the first
still a
safety off
round
the board.
pick. Yeah, no question.
Top 20?
Yeah, still good enough, I think.
I would go top 20.
Yeah.
All right, Anthony Richardson did himself a ton of favors this weekend. The athletic score. I can't believe you brought up that interesting graphic, man. Tyrod Taylor. Who was it?
Robert Griffin. Tyree Jackson out of Buffalo.
And some other dude.
Yeah, those are athleticism scores,
How relevant is that?
Not at all.
Now go show me the RAS score for Andrew Luck. Go show me the RAS score for Joe Burrow. Show me the RAS score for Trevor Lawrence. This 99 score that he got is nothing, man.
No.
And you know what? I'm not going to count him out for the one simple reason. I do think he's got a lot of intangibles that you want in a quarterback. Size, mobility, athleticism, cannon of an arm.
Mm-hmm.
Now, can you teach him to play quarterback? I don't know. I think the quarterback position, man, some people are just born to play it. And I know that sounds so cliche. What the hell does that mean? What are you trying to say about Anthony Richardson? Well, I don't think you can be an athlete before you can be a quarterback. All right, you say Mahomes. Would you say Mahomes is athletic?
Yes.
But he's a quarterback before he's an athlete.
On top of everything he brings.
Jalen Hurts, very athletic.
Mm-hmm.
He's a quarterback before he's an athlete.
But also Jalen Hurts developed pretty quickly. Like,
of course he
did.
Did.
From Alabama to now, so he put in the work.
Of course he did. And do I want to see him carry the ball 12 times a game? No, I don't.
And
and that's a big concern to me. But
right.
He's the quarterback first, almost threw 4,000 yards.
Yeah.
MVP candidate.
Yep.
A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith had no issue getting the ball this year. So I think you just have to be able to play the quarterback position first. And a lot of Anthony Richardson's tape points to me that he is an athlete. What I mean by athlete isn't that he's just a runner. It means his instincts are the instincts of an athlete, not a quarterback.
That's fair.
Not maneuver in the pocket, not step up, not shift your legs, not move left or right. It's, I need to roll out, or I need to go, or I need to roll out and make a play here. That's not how you play quarterback successfully.
Right.
For a long period of time in the NFL. Can he walk in and have a good year or two playing that way? Maybe. Maybe. I've seen guys do it. I saw Cam Newton have a really good 4-year stretch. Body broke down. Running around doesn't really work all the time.
Like, even what Allen's doing, like he
Josh Allen is the exception. But he's Big Ben running around like a freaking tank. That doesn't work.
But that's not something you want to. He
I
should
don't
be
want
doing
my quarterback getting hit as much
no.
as Josh Allen is.
No, you don't.
But
You
look,
don't.
let's take a break. When we get back, fan mock drafts. We'll get to all of your mocks in a little bit, but before we go, Jeff, our good friends over at Swiss Insurance.
Let me tell you about them. Be sure to check with Swiss Insurance this week for your commercial insurance review. Swiss can make sure you have the proper coverage. Swiss Insurance. Give them a shot, and you won't be disappointed. Contact Mark at swissins.com for more information.
By now you know me, Christina Gennari, as the obvious choice in real estate. And you know my website, soldchristina.com, as your #1 resource for buying or selling your home. Myself, along with my amazing staff, pride ourselves on making your home buying and selling experience a relaxing and easy one. Come see why we are the obvious choice. Christina Gennari at soldchristina.com, the obvious choice in real estate.
Get a shot up. This is for the win. All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
All right, we're back here on the Morning Woodward Show live, woodwardsports.com. Adham, Beydoun, Jeff, Iafrate is always live from Feldman Chevrolet and Novi. Make sure you come check out. Inventory is full, and they'll give you great deals if you're looking to buy or lease a car. Speaking of leasing, by the way, everything in this country sucks right now. Getting expensive.
Except for Feldman, because I just got taken care of last November, so I'm chilling. Yeah, my car's doing great.
Pulling in. Did you get a 2 or 3 year lease?
A 2-year lease.
Good man.
They took care of me.
Good man. All right, here's what we're going to do. Fan mock drafts. People submit them as always. Alex, no given order. You can throw whichever one's up. You can always, by the way, submit them to Jeff and I on social media. If you ever want them to appear on the show, we'll get through as many as we can. We'll start with the first one. I hope Alex picks the one with Anthony Richardson. This one's going to be fun. Very curious what you think of this. So, Alex, whenever you're ready, you can go ahead and throw it up. Here we go, Jeff. Anthony Richardson at pick 6. Trades back to 21, gets Beydoun Robinson, somebody you really like.
Yeah.
With the additional second-round pick, he gets Emmanuel Forbes at 48.
Mm-hmm.
Siaki Ika, who had a very good combine, by the way, at 53. Jack Campbell at 55, who anybody who takes Jan Campbell, by the way, from now on,
that's
is going to get an A+.
Yeah.
In that slot. It's an A+ for me. A corner, Bennett out of Maryland later on. Okay, fine. Mafia guard later on.
Bennett, by the way. Love that in the 5th round.
And then Jake Moody, which, by the way, all of you just seem to be drafting Jake Moody. And spoiler alert, so did Jeff and I. I think everybody wants a kicker.
Yeah.
What do you think of this board? Trades back with the Chargers.
So whether or not how I feel about Anthony Richardson is different. The value of the picks I don't mind. I don't like offense back-to-back in the first round. For me, if you're going to take Beydoun, it would be a defensive player at 6. And if you take Anthony Richardson, maybe you take Cansey at 21. You got to balance it. I don't like double offense in the first round, but honestly, I like the players. I can't
would
lie.
agree. What I would say is I don't mind if you draft Beydoun by moving pick 48 and a future to move back into the first round.
Yeah.
I don't mind that.
He traded back and got Beydoun.
I can live with you giving
better.
up 48, 81, and a future to move back into the first round for Beydoun Robinson. But you can't sell me on the first round not walking away with a defensive player.
Yeah,
when Lucas Van Ness, Kalijah Cansey, Joey Porter Jr., Christian Gonzalez. Come on, guys. When you gave Jared Goff a top 15 defense this year, you were 8-2. Think about that. When you had a top 15 defense for a 10-game stretch, you were 8-2. I like Emmanuel Forbes. Actually, I don't like it. I love it. A+ for sure.
Yeah.
Siaki Ika, solid. Very good. But would I want Ika or Kalijah Cansey? And is Anthony Richardson helping me this year? No. And to be honest with you, I love the idea of sitting a quarterback behind Goff. I really do.
I do as well.
I just don't think this is the year because of the capital you have. I really think you can make this the third. You could argue the second best roster in the NFC in 2 years if you nail the first-round picks this year. Yes, everybody wants a franchise quarterback, but if you're taking a quarterback, to me, it's not the guy with the highest RAS score ever for a quarterback in NFL Combine history.
I 100% agree with you. I think we differ a little on the quarterback philosophy of drafting one this year because we talked about it last week. Anthony Richardson I might not like, but the idea of taking a quarterback I like. I don't mind it. We'll just go off the position itself. I don't mind it. I just don't like offense back-to-back in the first round, but overall, great draft. I love the players he took.
All right, not bad. We'll submit. Let's go to the second board. Second mock board we have. Trading back. Atlanta. He gets a future one, and he gets a third-round pick, but he has to give up pick 48. Trades back.
But he gets a future first.
Gets Devon with yes.
That's
gets
the
Devon
most important
Witherspoon, Elijah Cansey,
Yep.
Deion Henley, Garrett Williams, Andre Carter in the third round. I don't know how that's realistic, but that's fine. Okay, we'll acknowledge that. Dwayne McBride, running back out of UAB. Chandler Zavala, who made an appearance on your mock draft board, actually.
Yep.
And then, like I said, everybody's drafting Jake Moody.
Yeah, I don't mind
I think
it.
everybody acknowledges they want a kicker.
The only, and this is nitpicking, overall, I like the draft itself. I
don't.
like the players. I don't mind it. Garrett Williams, to me, I'd have to see who was there. If Sidney, Brown out of Illinois was there, I like him a lot. I just have to see who he took Garrett Williams over, but Henley, Cansey, Witherspoon,
It's
I
a
don't
good
mind
board,
it.
and the fact that he got a 1 is really good, but to me it's a B because that you can't take Devon Witherspoon at 8, in my opinion. Cansey's not going to be there at 18. I have to be as honest as I can. I know they're there on your boards. Have at it, guys. That's great. But that kid's not walking out of the top 10. Players like Lucas Van Ness, probably not walking away out of the top 15. Maybe he can get to 18 if you're lucky. But guys like Tyree Wilson, probably going to go top 10.
Yeah.
Jalen Carter going, a lot of players going at Cansey, to me, after that combine, I think he solidified himself as a top 12 pick, minimum.
Yeah. No, I would
so
agree.
I don't think he's there. I think you got to get Cansey first and live with the idea that you're probably going to get Porter. Or, to be honest, if none of the corners are available, I could live with Beydoun. I don't love it, but you could sell me on the idea of Beydoun at 18 because it's realistic.
Yeah, if you're going BPA, him at 18,
and there's no corners available.
Yeah,
and
he's
Lucas
the best,
Van Ness is off the
he's
board.
the best player.
Well, we're having a different conversation. Good job though. It's a good board actually.
Yeah.
And I think McBride, by the way, later on, we're always going to do this. 4th, 5th, 6th round, go get your running back. In my opinion. Now, if you can trade back into the first round and get Bijan Robinson, and you sacrifice a second, a third, and a future third, or a future second because you have 2 of them next year as well, be my guest. I have no problem with it at all. But the NFL is a go get a running back in the later rounds game. But I will say, I did break that rule in my mock draft today.
You see this guy?
I did go
That's the influence.
I did go against my own word.
Well, if a player's worthy of it, you're allowed to do that.
Well,
and we'll
you
talk
let me
about
know.
that.
You let me know. I can't wait to show you mine. Coming up, 22 minutes?
Yep.
Can't wait.
I just sent one more mock draft.
Yep.
So
Alex,
this is
when you can, throw it up.
You know this person who did it, but I'll reveal it at the end. Okay.
Oh, just tell me who did it.
Mike.
Mike who?
Mike Gentry.
Okay.
So this is Michael Gentry's draft.
No trades.
Our Red Wings beat reporter. So he stayed put, didn't take any trades. He took who was there.
Yeah,
I hate
don't
the
like
Schoonmaker in the 5th round, if I'm being real.
I don't like Deontay Banks in the 2nd.
But
CJ Stroud. Okay, so what do you think of Stroud?
I love Stroud. I don't mind
you don't
Stroud.
mind this.
I don't mind Stroud, Cansey, Deontay Banks, Campbell. Once we get to Garrett, okay. Don't mind Garrett. But then we get to Luke. Then you take a guard, Keaton Mitchell. I don't mind
Keaton
it.
Mitchell in the 6th round to me is a home run.
Yeah,
Great job.
If I'm nitpicking,
I love the idea of getting a running back late. I think there's so many athletes in the draft available, but the conversation should not be about the board. It should be about pick 6. Are you on board? Everybody in the chat, just give me a yes or no. I want to know, are you on board with the quarterback? And if you are, give me a yes or no. And if not, if it's not Stroud, who is it? Is it Richardson? Is it Levis? Who are you in love with? Because I'm sorry, if I'm taking Stroud, he's NFL ready.
Yeah.
Now, can I sit him a season? I can. But of all the quarterbacks, Stroud walks into an NFL offense, day one, he's ready. More than Levis, more than Richardson. You could argue even more than Bryce Young.
I honestly, I don't mind.
Again,
I like the first 4 picks.
I love the 2 players he got. But again, do I think Cansey's going to be there at 18? No. So it's really tough for me to feel good about this mock draft when I know for a fact he's not getting Cansey at 18. Jack Campbell at 55 is an A+. Keaton Mitchell at 194, A+.
Oh, yeah, of course.
There's some really good picks there. Luke Schoonmaker didn't make any sense to me. Garrett Williams in the 3rd round.
took 2 corners, which I like.
Is your plan in free agency to go get a veteran corner? Because to me, I'm spending a first-round pick on a corner or an early second trying to get an SEC corner, not a Big Ten corner, let alone an ACC corner. I'm trying to go get guys out of the SEC, coached by Saban, coached by Smart.
Right.
That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for NFL-ready corners. I don't think I get them in Deonte Banks and Garrett Williams. I think Garrett Williams needs time, and you don't have time in a Lions secondary that really needs help right now.
Yeah, if you're Brad Holmes and you don't take a corner in the first round, you got to at least try and trade up to 34, 36 to try and get a Forbes or even a guy like Banks. I don't think Banks will be there if he's there at 48, wherever he took the pick.
Can I ask you something?
I'd be shocked. He had a great combine.
He had not only him, everybody who submitted their mocks, by the way, over the last, I would say 4 or 5 days, everybody has drafted Jack Campbell. At least from what I've seen. I haven't received a single mock in my DMs that hasn't included Jack. Let me ask you about Jack. Everybody has him at 55. He just put up a higher athletic score than people expected. That was one of the concerns coming into the combine for Jack Campbell. He showed out. He's got the brain. He's got the size. He's physical. He comes from an Iowa defense that it's really you got to be tough to play in that defense. He lasts until 55. We talk about Emmanuel Forbes going in the early 30s.
Oh, yeah.
We talk about Jack Campbell.
I mean, look at the linebackers. I mean,
there are not many out there.
No. I mean,
and if Devin Lloyd last year is going to be a first-round pick, I think he went top 20.
He was supposed to, but we talked about him top
12 at the time.
Yeah.
I know, but still. We want to talk about linebackers. I don't think there's a better linebacker in this draft than Jack Campbell.
There's a couple guys. I mean, you got Simpson, Henley, Jack, and then you start getting later in the draft.
Question mark. So for all of them, to be fair.
Even Pace Jr., but still for Campbell to be one of the higher graded linebackers and how he tested, man, he looks like an early second-round pick to me, but at 55, it's a great value. And you're seeing it more. If you do these mock drafts, actually, Deion Henley's going before Jack Campbell, which, I
want to make a bet.
Wouldn't be shocked to let him fall to the Lions.
I want to make a bet on air, if you don't mind.
Okay.
With Joey 2 times. Joey 2 times says Dorian Thompson-Robinson is a quarterback, 6'2", 203 pounds, 6th highest completion percentage in the NCAA. Literally the strongest arm ever measured at the combine, 62 miles an hour. Adham still says that he's a running back playing quarterback. Yes, I'm going to double down on that, actually, and I'll make you a bet. You can come host the show if Dorian Thompson is an NFL quarterback, because he won't be. He won't make it, and he won't be a quarterback, and he won't be a quarterback for more than... Should I give a timeline on it, or should I just say he won't work, because he's not going to work?
No, you can just...
He's just not going to work.
You know how you feel, yeah.
He's not going to work. Dorian Thompson is the definition of a running back playing quarterback. And, oh, by the way, he played at UCLA, coached by Chip Kelly.
Yeah, pretty good coach.
Which is an offense that literally asks you to do nothing. You run, you hand the ball off, and you throw short and intermediate plays. And because of all the athletes they have, it's all yak. This isn't a guy that's throwing the ball and making NFL throws. Just stop it, Dorian Thompson. What's his name? Dorian what?
No, you're right. Dorian Thompson. He's probably going to be a 6th-round draft pick, 7th-round draft pick.
Can't wait.
If we're talking Flyers,
I love quarterbacks,
you're not on board
man.
with him. That's fine.
Joey,
we understand
honest,
that.
I mean that, Joey. If he makes
Joey,
it,
if he makes it,
we
can do a show together.
It won't be here, but it'll definitely be at the studio.
Yeah.
We're going to pull up a chair for you. Hell, if you want to replace me that day, you can. I don't mind. All right? That's the deal we're going to make with Joey.
I like it.
All right, what else we got here? That's it for mocks, by the way. Thank you to everybody who submitted. We ran out of time. Unfortunately, I can't show one more. We'll take a break. When we get back, Bryce Young measures in basically same size as Kyler Murray, just a little heavier in terms of weight. My question for everybody at home. Actually, I have 2 questions. If you're a GM in the NFL, forget the Lions. If you're a GM in the NFL, do you draft Bryce Young top 3? If you're the Detroit Lions and he falls to you, do you take him? 2 questions. Think about it while we're in break. When we get back, I want to talk about Bryce Young. Are you concerned? And I've said this publicly before, and I'm not backing down on this. I do not like Kyler Murray as a quarterback.
I agree.
Should I be concerned with Bryce Young?
I'll tell you why you should or shouldn't.
I want to have that conversation next, okay? Let's take a break, but before we go, I got to tell you about my good friends over at Planet Fitness. Now is the best time to join Planet Fitness. What are you waiting for, huh? Planet Fitness is home of the judgment-free zone, where you can work out in a non-intimidating, judgment-free atmosphere. Sign up today by going in club or by signing up at planetfitness.com. $10 a month. We'll see you guys in just a minute.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. They were talking to one another.
Woodward Sports.
All right, we're back here on the Morning Woodward Show live, woodwardsports.com. Thank you to everybody joining us this morning. Bryce Young, we talked about it going into the break.
Love him.
I do not like Kyler Murray as a quarterback. I don't like him for a multitude of reasons. One, his attitude, probably the worst.
Oh, yeah.
You would never want that for a franchise quarterback, number one. Number two, the size is a problem. And it's not a problem because he doesn't make it work. It's a problem because the way he has to make it work puts him in danger almost all the time.
And can he hold up?
Having to move, having to be so mobile, running out, getting hit, taking unnecessary hits, carrying the ball 7-8 times a game, really most of the time. I don't like it. Having said that, you brought this up before. Bryce Young, above the neck, is not Kyler Murray.
No.
Class. Intangibles. The smarts. You love it all. But if you watch Bryce Young at Bama,
neck down?
Some of the plays he does make, which everybody loves, which I agree, they're phenomenal plays, are when he has to move away from his linemen so he can see down the field. It's not ideal. It just isn't. Are you concerned with Bryce Young? And do you take him in the top 3 if you're a GM? And then if he falls to the Lions, which I doubt still, but if he falls, do you take him?
So I'll answer the first question. Should he go top 3? Yes, there's no question. Because you're looking at the talent. Even Kyler Murray. I mean, say what you want, he went number 1 overall. So different, obviously, with Bryce this year. A little bit of a down year for Alabama, but still, you can't deny the talent Bryce Young possesses. Like you just can't. You go back, watch film. I mean, what he did against Georgia without Jameson or John Mechie. It's just impressive. His ability to elevate teammates. That's something I look at with quarterbacks. Bryce Young does that. He elevates everybody else, even who he played with at Alabama this year. So Bryce, to me, there's not much questions on the football field. It's really physically. Can he hold up? And that's the big thing for NFL GMs when they're looking at Bryce. That's when you're weighing CJ, Will Levis, Bryce Young. It's not just what they do on the field. It's their body itself, like CJ, 6'3", Will Levis, 6'3", over 200 pounds. I think Will Levis is like 220. CJ's like 215. And then you got Bryce, who, if you saw him walking in the combine with other quarterbacks, he looked like somebody's little brother. He's sitting there. He's 5'10 and a half. He's a buck. He's 200 pounds, maybe. I think he's 205 he weighed in at. Those things are concerning. I completely understand. If you're taking him number 1, number 2 overall, it's something you're going to have to consider. But you also have that risk of passing on Bryce Young, taking a Will Levis, and having to live with that, knowing you had Bryce in front of you in your hands and you passed on him simply because of his physical stature. So there's a lot of things you're going to have to weigh out. To me, it wouldn't move me much. I would at least take Bryce because even if he doesn't last long in this league, to me, he's still going to play at a high level. So if you look at Kyler and how they play, Kyler Murray, even in the NFL now, you watch him play, plays a lot like Bryce does in college, right? Not sitting there in the back in the pocket. He's scrambling around. He's extending plays, making plays with his legs. I think Bryce will do that, but Bryce to me is he's a much more talented and I would say better passer than Kyler Murray. But again, the size is something that teams are going to have to be worried about. Because if that's your franchise quarterback, you expect him to be available all the time. And he suffered, I think it was a shoulder injury this year. Like, those things are a concern, whether people want to talk about it or not.
Size is a concern, but I think, like you said, above the neck, I think it's not a huge gap, But I think there is a gap between him and everybody else coming out. Over Richardson, over Levis, even over Stroud. I think he's got something about him. The size is concerning. Do I still think he can work? Yes, Kyler Murray worked. And I think we're all prisoners of this. And I will fully admit I'm probably wrong for saying this the way I'm going to say it, but I think it's just the truth. You go with the league, guys. Where the league takes you, you go.
Right.
Before Drew Brees, there was Doug Flutie. After Drew Brees, there was Russell Wilson. And because of Russell Wilson's success, people like Baker Mayfield went number 1 overall. Because size wasn't a concern. Because if they were marginally athletic, you could get away with it. But then we realized, oh, no, you actually can't. And who was as athletic as Russell Wilson, let's be honest, his first few years? I mean, that was insane. So we all want to follow the trend. Very difficult to buck it. And what I've seen for the last 7 years, really, I don't want to say 10, I think the last 7 years, is we've had this affinity, this infatuation with the athletic quarterback.
Right.
But name me the top 6 quarterbacks in the NFL right now.
Easily. You go
Trevor Lawrence,
Mahomes.
not in any order. Trevor Lawrence, Mahomes,
yes.
Joe Burrow.
Yep. Josh Allen,
Justin Herbert, Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts, of the 5, is the only one I will give you who fits that mold. I mean, God bless him. He's really paving something we've never seen before. Cam Newton did it maybe, but it was for a short stretch. And now that's going to be the concern in Philly, is how long does this last, giving the guy 11 attempts a game? Because we can't take them all away because it's what makes him so special. But then again, we don't want him running around getting hit 11 times a game.
Right.
Makes sense to me. So always going to be concerns, but all those quarterbacks can throw the rock. And they're pocket quarterbacks. And they can stand in the pocket and sling it with anybody. Well, let's look past 6. Let's go through 7 to 10. I would say you'd have Jared Goff in that conversation. Not athletic. I would say you'd have Aaron Rodgers if you wanted to. Aaron Rodgers could move, but he was a thrower before anything. We're trying so hard to buck the trend over the last 7 years and say that athletic quarterbacks are the future when I keep seeing it's the guys that can stand in the pocket, manipulate the offense, manipulate the defense, diagnose what they're doing.
Right.
It's all here for the quarterback. I don't care what anybody tells me. Go find me these guys. I think Bryce Young has an advantage over everybody else in that regard, but we just gotta accept that in the NFL, it's so hard to get the quarterback right, and I'm not right all the time on quarterbacks. I will admit, I don't have 100% hit rate. I do not, absolutely not. If I did, I'd be working in the NFL. It's a lie. For anybody who says they know, it's a lie. Having said that, what happens when you hit on said quarterback? You are legitimately a contender for 10 to 15 years. Everybody's going to be talking about the Jaguars now and the Bengals. And we've been talking about Mahomes and the Chiefs.
Right.
For a decade plus when you get this pick right. That's why all these guys are associated so high in the draft, Jeff. So for me, his measurables are concerning and his size is concerning, but I'm taking the quarterback, man. Yeah, I'm not passing on him.
I mean, even in Alabama, playing behind those the trees he played behind, the entire offensive line didn't really affect him that much. Still able to win games. So you look at a couple things when you're looking at quarterbacks. I think winning is super important when you're looking at quarterbacks. Did they win in college? That's not the only thing, but it's a big thing. Completion percentage. I mean, Bryce checks a lot of those boxes. The only thing holding him back is his measurables, but didn't hold him back at Alabama. The only thing that would put in question is, can he hold up? Besides that, he's a top talent. If he's there for the Lions, you don't even blink. You go pick him. Like, it's that easy. It's a guy who's projected number 1 overall. I don't think he makes it past Houston, but I can also see a scenario where a team like Houston goes, we're going to go with CJ because he's bigger.
I still
he checks
think
some of those boxes.
I still think the board shifts out to be Bryce Young number 2 overall.
Yep.
I still think Indianapolis moves for Levis. I do think Stroud probably falls out of the top 5, top 6. And I think he'll end up going to Atlanta or Carolina, depending on if Atlanta makes a move for Lamar. But did you see the report with Lamar Jackson and what Baltimore might do. They might sign I think it's called an exclusive tag. Correct me if I'm wrong, everybody. Where Baltimore has the right to match any contract offer.
Mm-hmm.
And if they don't, the other team can have Lamar for 2 first-round picks. I'm not talking about the Lions here. I don't think the Lions are doing anything.
No, I'm just
But I think the
strictly talking
Lamar
the deal.
Jackson saga, I think that changes everything.
Yeah.
Because if Atlanta gets him or Carolina go for him, well, you have a problem on your hands.
And I still think Anthony Richardson to the Ravens would be, that's ideal. Because it's already built for him. Just going to the Ravens.
Yeah, it didn't work the first time, so we're just going to let our quarterback walk just to go get another guy.
Just go get Anthony
who's not
Richardson.
as athletic, by the way, as Lamar Jackson in terms of running the football.
Yeah.
Lamar is special at it. Mm-hmm. It's
he's got a
unbelievable
better arm,
what
though.
he's been able to do.
I would
got a
say
better
that.
arm.
Maybe not.
but
We'll see the
is
accuracy.
He as accurate?
Yeah, we'll see the accuracy, but the arm, the talent's there.
Lamar can't make it work in Baltimore. You think Anthony Richardson's going to work? I mean, come on, guys. What are we doing
We'll
here?
see.
Adam, if one of those top quarterbacks fall at number 6, some team will trade out with us easily. Terrell, I agree, and I hope so. And I hope it is C.J. Stroud that falls to 6 because I do think a Carolina at 9 or an Atlanta, barring they don't make any free agency moves for the quarterback, I think they would say, hey, what is it going to cost, Detroit? 2 picks. We'll trade up 2 spots. We'll trade up 3 spots. You're not losing a ton. You can still get Kalijah Kancey or any defensive player really you want because let's be honest, the first 7 picks of the draft, 7. Let's go through them. Realistically, what are they going to be? Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud, Will Levis. Guaranteed. We can agree those 3 are going in the top 7, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Tyree Wilson? I would imagine
He
he's
could fall.
projected that high. He could fall, but Jalen Carter?
I don't think he falls.
I don't think he falls out of top 7. Oh, did I forget? How could I forget Alabama Will Anderson? There's your 6th pick. I mean, you're going to have some really good players available to you at 8 and 9. So to me, that's the dream scenario for the Lions. If they can trade back 2-3 spots, get a few picks, use those picks to trade back into the first round if they want to. Give you a hint, that's kind of what I did. Just saying.
Or you got to weigh the options. If you like the quarterback there, don't trade back. Just take him.
I don't do it, man.
Because you're, again, and this is always a risk because it could go either way. You could trade out, C.J. Stroud could be taken, and he could completely bomb, and you look back and say, hey, we fleeced that team. Or C.J. could work out, and you're in quarterback purgatory for a year or 2.
Well,
So,
are you? Are you, though? Because, again, is Jared Goff situationally? Is Jared Goff, because of the circumstances of the NFL, because the NFL is now so lacking in elite quarterbacks. Jared Goff's a top 10 quarterback right now.
Oh, yeah, he's fine. I'm talking about...
Is he a top 10 quarterback by definition? No. To me, he isn't.
Coming off the year he had.
But he is right now, given his situation. So, yeah, you could say that, but I could also say that they could just do it again next year. And, yeah, they could move a lot of first-round picks if they had to get one. But even then, whoever you draft, they have a great situation here in Detroit. It's one of the youngest rosters in the NFL. Aiden Hutchinson's not going anywhere. Jameson Williams not going anywhere. Penei Sewell's not going anywhere. That offensive line isn't going anywhere. Amon-Ra St. Brown's not going anywhere. Kirby Joseph isn't going anywhere. The defensive studs you're going to take in this upcoming draft aren't going anywhere. You got a team, man. I'm not so worried about the quarterback position. I'm really not. I think the only way you move off of Jared Goff is when you identify your ceiling with him. And if the ceiling, which I hope it is a division title or 2 and a few playoff wins, but nothing more than that, then you have a situation in Detroit where you and I have to sit up here, Jeff, and say, hey, you know what? The Lions won't be able to get over the hump until they get that guy or a better coach. It's one of the 2. And typically, you're going to want to go get that quarterback. That's just the reality of the NFL.
So you don't think that question is answered yet?
What
you think
question?
like the potential, the ceiling of this team with Jared Goff? You think that's still in question?
Well, yeah, because they could go in the complete opposite direction and just not work.
So, true.
So that is concerning, actually. which would actually favor your argument, but I don't know what it is yet. Just like I told you guys, I don't know what Dan Campbell's ceiling is yet. I don't know what Jared Goff's is. It could be really good in Detroit. It could be as good as it was in L.A., and that's a Super Bowl berth. I don't know. I'm not in a rush to move off him yet. I got 2 years. I'm going to take my time. We'll take a break. When we get back, mock draft Mondays, I'll give my mock draft. And then, you first. I think you first. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Let's do Jeff's first.
Let's do it.
Let's do Jeff's first because Jeff made some moves. And I want him to wow the floor and wow the audience before we get to mine, okay? So we'll get to Jeff's coming up next. But before we go, I got to tell you about my good friends over at Cousins Maine Lobster. Who doesn't love lobster? As I do. Lobster tacos, clam chowder soup. Go to cousinsmainelobster.com. Find out where their food truck is and thank me later. Lobster taco, clam chowder soup, and if you're really hungry, add some tots on the side. You'll thank me later. You won't regret it. Check them out, cousinsmainelobster.com. We'll be right back with Jeff's mock draft.
As chilly weather approaches, Big Boy's got the perfect comfort meals for you. Try our hearty classic meatloaf or our creamy Cajun chicken Alfredo. These will be sure to leave you craving for more. How about breakfast? Our stuffed potato pancakes are back with our lumberjack, blockbuster, and Santa Fe Garden. These potato pancakes will definitely fill you up. Whether it's for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, come stock up on the perfect comfort meal today. We'll see you soon at Big Boy.
My name is Lee. I've lost 35 pounds on the Custom Health Center program. So the three biggest benefits that I've gotten from this program has been I'm not snoring anymore, I have a lot of energy, it's great, and oh, by the way, look at this. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding.
Call us at 844-789-THIN or visit CustomHealthCenters.com for a free consultation and get started for as little as $5 a day.
The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win. Woodward Sports, Detroit's winning sports network.
All right, we're back here on the Morning Woodward Show, live, top of the hour, 9:02, live from Feldman Chevrolet of Novi. Adham, Beydoun, Jeff, Iafrate. Thank you to everybody who's watching. Make sure you like the video and subscribe to the Woodward Sports YouTube channel. It's appreciated. Jeff, mock draft 3.0. I've seen you take Devon Witherspoon.
Yeah.
I've seen you take C.J. Stroud.
Yep.
After the combine, what's the move, Jeff Iafrate? Let's see it.
So you'll never believe who fell to me.
Oh, bullshit.
Will Anderson.
That's a great move.
Yeah. Now, the likelihood of this, I don't know. But he was there, so I took him at 6. I didn't even have to trade. What I did do, though, is at 18.
You traded back.
Yes, I traded back with Baltimore to 22. I got next year's third-round pick. So I got their third-round pick, moved back 4 spots, and took Beydoun. Because Beydoun was there at 18. By the way, just to give you some context, no corners. Cansey was there. But I had Will Anderson. I didn't want to go Will and Cansey. So I said, you know what? Best player here to me is Beydoun. Let me trade back and get him. So I traded back, got Bijan Robinson. And this is what I did. I think the Lions typically, they have the 45th pick?
48th and 55.
48. So I took 48 in the third-round pick.
Forbes.
In the third-round pick I got from the
Baltimore.
Ravens pick to move up to 35 to get Forbes. So there you go. I got an edge, a running back, a corner. There at 55, Jack Campbell sitting there.
I can't believe I'm saying this.
At 81, Sidney Brown, somebody that I've had consistently in my mock drafts. He could be that Deshaun Elliott replacement. And then at 5th, the 5th, 6th round picks, they're just kind of, all right, Chandler Zavala, I got a guard, Clayton Tune, and then, of course, Jake.
Can I say
Moody.
this? You can sell me on Bijan Robinson if that's how the board exactly worked out from pick 6 to 55.
Mm-hmm.
If those are the 4 players you're promising me, I will accept the idea of drafting a running back in the first round.
That's the I guess, mindset I had, too, is who am I getting defensively? I got Will Anderson, so you could argue the best player in the draft.
He's not going to be there at 22.
And then you got Emmanuel Forbes, another corner I like, Jack Campbell, Sidney Brown. I like the defensive players I got. That's why the Bijan pick, for a couple reasons, I'll explain it. So
why Bijan? Because you still have 1 year left of Swift.
Yeah.
And I'm not hating on it because you're going to see what the hell I did, and you're going to freak out that I even did it. Why Bijan? Because, there is 1 year left of Swift, but we do know he is always unavailable. And when he isn't available. You saw the Lions offense early on in the season. It was tough, man. It's not that they weren't scoring points and moving the ball, but damn it, there's only so much you can do without a running back in the NFL. You want running backs situationally to be excellent. Isaiah Pacheco, Tyler Algier, great later round backs.
Right.
But can Beydoun be a Saquon Barkley that carries you to the playoffs like he did in New York?
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to think so. No?
And this is the reasoning. Two things. From Brad Holmes' point of view, Bijan Robinson, I agree for the most part with the rule. You don't typically take running backs in the first round. Now, there are exceptions. It depends on the player you're taking. Bijan, to me, is a top 10 talent. It's strictly because he plays running back, he's going to slide in the draft. But to get him at 22, traded back to get him, and he's still there, to me, it's worth it. You get the fifth-year option on him, so you'll have him for 5 years on a rookie contract. If you don't want him, you don't need him. You get 5 years with him. And the other reason is for Jared Goff. We've seen Jared Goff, his most successful years is with a bell cow back, somebody you can rely on, like Jamal Williams a lot. He's not your number one running back. You're not going to consistently give him 20 carries. And in today's NFL, you need 2 running backs. So for Bijan, if you can give him most of the carries or him and Jamal can split carries, what Beydoun could do in the pass game, to me, is a bigger, better DeAndre Swift. And again, for Beydoun, he's a first-round running back, whether you like it or not. And I like Swift,
a top
but
10 talent in the draft.
You can't rely on Swift, and that's the problem I have. Beydoun could come in right away, can take a ton of carries, can be productive, and again, him and Jamal would be great, even if you throw Swift in there as well. So I like the Beydoun pick.
You guys are hilarious.
In
the
5
chat.
years with him, I mean,
everybody loves your mock for the most part. But what they're all saying, Jeff, consensus, is that because you landed Will Anderson, you could draft punters and kickers. They don't give a shit.
Well, I agree to some extent, and that's why it was less pressure on me. You got to.
I think that's the key word there, and that's when we talk about my mock at 9:15. You'll see I felt less pressured to fall in line with what I was typically doing because of what was available. So yes, when you get a Will Anderson, it eases off so much pressure because, I could take a shot at Beydoun, and he's probably worth a top 10 pick, but the reality is it's just not a running back's game anymore. But if I get him at 22, I don't mind in your scenario. Oh, and you traded up and got Emmanuel Forbes, plus I can go out in free agency, get a veteran corner. I really love what that does for this roster.
And let me answer this question. Terrell says, Jeff, you absolutely cannot draft Robinson unless you plan on trading Swift, which I disagree with. Swift is very talented, and you're telling me he's going to sit on the bench and get no carries because you have to feed Robin. Well, number one,
Swift can shut the hell up because he's done nothing in the NFL.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you're holding on to Swift, I don't really have much for you. Swift, to me, you can't rely on him. He's talented, but I need somebody I can rely on, somebody that can withstand carries, withstand over a 17-game season. I haven't seen that out of Swift. Like him, but to get Beydoun at 22, and you guys have to understand who was available. That's important. I didn't take Beydoun over Joey Porter. I didn't take him over any of the corners. I took him over Cansey, but I already had Will Anderson. So that was my reasoning. It made sense. He was the best player, hands down, available. I'm not taking another player simply because you shouldn't draft Beydoun. I'm taking the best player on my board, and he was at 22.
Let me read your board to you in a different way. Keep it up. Starting edge rusher, day 1. Starting running back, day 1.
Yes.
Starting second corner, day 1. Starting linebacker, day 1. Will play a significant amount of snaps in the slot position likely, or just even in the box with Sidney Brown at pick 81. Everything else after, fine. Jake Moody could be probably your starting kicker, but to me, you drafted 4 starters, 3 of which were on the defensive side of the ball, which I think we all wanted.
Right.
So I have no problem. Oh, and you took a chance on probably the most talented running back to come out in the last 5 years. Since Saquon Barkley, you could argue. I love it.
And you got
I have no issue.
You got a 5th-year option. You got 5 years of Beydoun on a rookie deal. And then after that, you can decide what you want to do. But to get his production for 5 years with this offensive line, I know the argument is, well, you have this offensive line, you can get pretty much any running back. But what if you had Beydoun behind this offensive line? Now we're cooking. So these are the players I selected. I love this
making
draft.
a good point in the chat, okay? Let me ask you this. Instead of Beydoun, would you have preferred to use that third-round pick, maybe move up and just get Jahmyr Gibbs in the second round at pick 58, 59, 60.
Mm-hmm. I like Jahmyr, but again, Jahmyr to me, and the big question for Jahmyr is, can he handle a workload? Like he's somebody that, again, great pass catcher. You can use him. He's kind of like, reminds me a lot of Swift and how you use Swift. I don't think Jahmyr's going to come in the league and get 15, 20 carries a game. Like him a lot. But Beydoun is somebody I can consistently, week in and week out, rely on. He can handle it. You've seen him do it. I mean, he's been banged up at times, but he's a physical specimen. So I get what you guys are saying, but again, I get the one more year because I took Beydoun in the first round. So there's pros and cons. It's all preference. But to me, who was available at 22, Beydoun was no question.
And look, you look at our running back class this year with Chase Brown, Muhammad Ibrahim, some of the guys later on in the draft, Deuce Vaughn. There's going to be guys that you can probably get later on, Jeff, that can contribute.
Mm-hmm.
But are any of them Bijan Robinson? Yes or no?
No.
No one is even close. And do I think anybody in the 4th or 5th or 6th round will end up being a top 5 running back in the NFL? No, I don't. I think Bijan Robinson will be exactly that. Do you need a top 5 running back in the NFL to have success? No, you don't.
Mm-mm.
That, to me, is a luxury pick. But you get away with it because you drafted Will Anderson, Jack Campbell, Emmanuel Forbes.
And we watched the Lions this year. You saw games where their run game could not get going. And you had DeAndre and Jamal out there. So it's not like you had injuries at times. So you need somebody that
with
can
that
come
offensive
in
line.
with that offensive line. So again, you need somebody. And I like Beydoun a lot. So it goes to the number one point I'm making, and you have to understand, is who was available. If Joey Porter was there, I would have took him over Beydoun Robinson. I didn't have any of those guys available. I had Beydoun. He was the best player to me, but that was my mock draft. And again, we're going to do more of these, but I like this mock a lot. If Will Anderson's there and Brad pulled off these players.
Do you want to talk about cocaine? Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, Emmanuel Forbes. You got all the guys I like. And the only thing I traded was the 3rd round pick I got for trading back for Beydoun. So I didn't really give up.
Baltimore's 3rd round pick.
Yeah, I didn't trade up. I didn't trade any future assets. They're all assets I acquired. So I like it.
That's a solid board, man. He gave up 48 and a future 3rd to move up to 35 for Forbes. That's a good deal. Well done, man.
Appreciate it.
This is my favorite mock you've done. It's
Yeah,
my
I would
favorite mock
agree.
you've done, and it inspired me to do something a bit risque. So we'll get to that next. We'll take a break. When we get back, my mock draft, I'm nervous. I think this might be the one that gets me canceled.
Now I'm interested. I can't wait to see it.
If you thought taking Beydoun where you took him was bad, wait till you see what I did.
Oh, jeez, you?
Wait till you see
Out
what
of
I
all
did.
people?
I know.
And your philosophy?
We'll get to mine next, but before we go, Jeff, our good friends over at the Sports Marketing Agency.
Let me tell you about them, guys. The Sports Marketing Agency helps spread awareness about mental health and substance abuse. If you can't fathom the idea of taking Beydoun at 22, I got the place for you. It's SMA. Help fight the stigma about seeking help. If you or someone you know is struggling, head to thesportsma.com for more information.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Beverly Hills Golf, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
Let me tell you about our friends over at the Fulling Warehouse in Hamtramck, because it is the home of the original football bowling game. 2 to play for $12, the limited open play, or you could pay $120 for a lane reservation for up to 10 people. $2 mystery beer machine, full bar. Check it all out, fullingwarehouse.com.
All right, we're back here on the Morning Woodward Show, live, woodwardsports.com. Live from Feldman Chevrolet in Novi. Adam Beydoun, Jeff Iafrate. Jeff, I didn't give you a grade, so I'm going to give you an A. Not even A, I'm going to give you A+. A+? I think that was my favorite mock you've done.
JB, what do you think? You give me an A?
It's a solid A.
All right, see that.
I definitely like that. I don't know anything about that guard, but still.
Me either.
Yeah, and the fact that you got Will Anderson at 6, even though he's not going to be there, I can guarantee you he's not going to be there at 6. It's still solid.
That's why we got to do our part and gas up Anthony Richardson more, so he goes top 5. So Will Anderson could slide down to 6. Because if he does, you're running up to that podium.
It'd be nice,
Yeah.
but I did something different. I am totally against the idea. I will say it publicly for the millionth time. I am against the idea of drafting a running back in the first round if it is pick 18 and nothing else.
Okay.
I don't agree with it. I don't think you should draft Beydoun if you're only going to walk away with a Kalijah Cansey or a Christian Gonzalez, for example. Let's just hypothetical here.
Mm-hmm.
But when you get Will Anderson, you can sell me on drafting Beydoun because that is such a positive addition that I don't mind you taking a risk.
Right.
And drafting it's a luxury pick. So I thought to myself, okay, how can I put together something that'll allow me to justify a luxury pick, Jeff? Have a look at my board. Here we go. Oh, God. Jeff Iafrate. I traded back with Atlanta. Drafted my boy Kalijah Cansey, where I think he'll go, which is top 10.
Oh, wow.
I got him at 8. I stayed put at 18. And what I took everything that Atlanta gave me. Okay, skip 18 for a second. I took everything that Atlanta gave me. I packaged a future second, a third, and a future third to move back in with Seattle. And I took Bijan Robinson at 20. But I walked away with Lucas Van Ness. And now I'm really struggling because the truth is, by the way, I don't want an abundance of second and third round picks. How often do they really hit? That was kind of my mindset. And I had 3 future seconds. I had 3 future 3s. What the hell am I going to do with all of that?
Right. And you saw the Jets do it last year.
What am I waiting
it worked
for?
out for him.
What am I waiting
3 first-round picks, yeah.
I'm going to move them, and I'm going to go back into the first round and go get a surefire player. And that's exactly what I did. Look, at 18, Gonzalez was gone. Devon Witherspoon was gone. Joey Porter Jr. was gone. Every corner I liked, and that most of you like, was gone.
Mm-hmm.
Except Lucas Van Ness was on the board. And I'm sorry. Kalijah Cansey in the interior, and I get to add another edge rusher. I might have the best front 7 in the NFC outside of San Francisco and Philly. You kidding me? I got instantly better, and I have one of the 5-6 front 7s, best front 7s in the NFL, I think. Oh, and then I trade back into the first round. I get a running back. I still get my corner at pick 37. By the way, we copy-paste. I think we both love Forbes and Campbell at this point.
That's impressive.
I don't think that's changing. Gervon Dexter Sr.
I like that pick a lot, too.
He had no business being there at 81. I was shocked.
Yeah.
And when he was there, I said, you know what? Depth, there's nothing wrong with depth. I'm going to rotate these guys anyways. Sign me up. Levi O was done in Detroit. So there's my replacement, and there's my depth at 81. Stetson Bennett, take a flyer on a quarterback who gives a shit. And then, of course, like everybody else, I take Jake Moody in the 6th round.
So let me ask you something.
Go for it.
I actually like the Gervon Dexter pick, but an NFL Draft Junkie brought it up first, and I agree with him. He says, I love Dexter, but if we're going to double up on a position, we need 2 cornerbacks.
Not true.
What do you think about the 2 interior defensive linemen?
Not true at all. I'll tell you why. I agree you need 2 corners. I disagree that you need to double up in the draft. You need a veteran corner. Now, again, there are so many scenarios I can throw out. In this scenario, I still have Minnesota's and my 2nd round pick next year. So what do? I can go give a future 2nd and a future 3, which I still have 2 more, by the way, for Jalen Ramsey, if that's what the market commands.
Gotcha.
Or I can go to free agency and go spend a little bit of money on a veteran corner. But I disagree. I don't think you can draft, let's say, an Emmanuel Forbes and a Christian Gonzalez and say, go be our 1 and 2 day 1. I think that's very irresponsible. As much as I like the players, I think it's irresponsible. Am I going to bank on both of them being NFL ready day 1? It's a bit risky to me. I need a sure thing in the secondary. You got to go out in free agency, or you got to go make a move for Ramsey, guys. I mean, that's the reality. And you have the draft capital to do it. I had the capital because I traded back to move back into the first round, and I still have 2 seconds and 2/3 next year, Jeff, where I can move for Jalen Ramsey. Hell, I should have added it to that board.
Yeah, you could have.
I could have give up a future second and a future third for Jalen Ramsey. I would have gotten away with it.
Then I love it.
Hell, I could have gave up 55 and a future 4 maybe and gotten Jalen Ramsey. But the problem is I miss out on Jerry Campbell, and I don't want to miss out on it.
No way. And I like, again, you're looking
Throw
at
it back
players,
up, Alex.
the Beydoun Robinson pick at 20, the players you got defensively, I mean, Cansey, Van Ness, Forbes, Campbell, Dexter, like the Beydoun pick.
Well, let me ask.
Just cherry on top.
But let me ask. Let's say this is real. This happens. And I trade a future second and a future third for Jalen Ramsey. You have the best roster in the NFC, hands down, in my opinion.
Yeah, let's roll. Let's roll.
It's the best young core with the addition of a veteran corner. I'm getting a kid out of, oh my goodness, a kid out of Pitt that is going to be a monster in the NFL.
And Van Ness is
your pass rush this year is going to be top 5 in the NFL. Aiden Hutchinson, Kalijah Cansey, Lucas Van Ness. Don't forget about James Houston.
Mm-hmm.
My goodness. Oh, and then I'm adding secondary players like Emmanuel Forbes and Jalen Ramsey to help Jeff Okudah develop, even though he'll never develop. But, it's a whole different conversation. Oh, by the way, if DeAndre Swift breaks his leg or his shoulder's hurting or his thigh is a bit sore,
Beydoun will be right there.
Beydoun's going to be the starter all year regardless.
Yeah.
Behind that offensive line, oh, God. To me, that's an NFC contender. And you get depth with Gervin Dexter Sr.
You talk about the NFC teams, Eagles, 49ers.
Who's got more depth and who's got a younger core. Oh, and by the way, I have a starting linebacker walking into the team.
But that's the process we talked about with the Eagles and the 49ers. The depth they have at the defensive line is something the Lions, and I know people say, well, no, we have Josh Pascal. We have this. No, you can never have enough defensive linemen.
Give me a grade, guys. Give me a grade, Jeff.
What did PFF give you? Do you remember? I like this draft a lot.
I'll tell you right now.
To me, this draft's today, honestly, for the players you got.
Here, I'll tell
you
what PFF gave me. PFF gave me an A+.
Yeah, no, I think
PFF gave me an A+.
Yeah, I think that's deserved. I like the draft a lot. I do. 3 first-round
Van Ness
picks.
at 18 was a steal.
Oh, absolutely.
But to be honest with you, just bro talk here, I would have preferred a corner at 18.
Who was there at 18?
Nobody.
See, there you go.
It was
that's
Van Ness and Beydoun.
There you go.
Van Ness and Beydoun were available. I was like, you know what? Let me take Van Ness. And then I paused it, and I thought, I'm like, wait. I've got 3 seconds, 3/3. The hell do I do with all this?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I am not going to draft Beydoun Robinson or his production in the 3rd round. I'm not even going to draft it in the 2nd round with Jahmyr Gibbs, which I could have done, by the way. But I was like, wait, what am I doing? I can move 2 seconds, move a 3rd, move up in the draft. The fuck? It's a home run.
Yeah.
I thought it was really good. I thought it was interesting. I probably won't ever do that again.
The 3 first-round picks?
No, the idea of trading up and back into the 1st round for Beydoun, but I didn't get much from Atlanta. If I got a future 1, I'm not making that move. I didn't get a future 1 out of them. They're only moving up 2 spots. They're not giving me a future 1. And if they are, it's going to take me giving up 2 future 2s, and I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
So, circumstantially, I had not no choice, but I was encouraged by the board to move up.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was solid.
And I could see Brad Holmes. I mean, no one expected him to move back higher into the draft last year. So, if anything's realistic, everything's on the table for me with Brad. But I like it. And a lot of people would agree. They're giving you all A's, B's. Except Harold Williams says, I'll give you an A for ain't happening. Take that.
You know what? I think that's the best part, though.
I know. I
think that's the most. That's the best part of all this. What is that for? That is not going to work. I'm telling you right now. So whoever texted you, tell them they're fucking stupid. That's not going to work. That is not going to work. That is a rectangle shaped cloth. It will not fit on a oval/circle table. All right, what are we doing here?
Well, there you go.
Stop bothering me. I'm trying to do my show. Jesus Christ.
Day 1 without Fish. Adam's off the leash, man. He's
moving on. We'll take a break. When we get back, Dan Campbell, by the way, made some interesting comments at the Combine. We'll get to that. We'll also get to him being the favorite to win Coach of the Year next year and the Lions being the betting favorite in the North. Interesting times in Detroit, huh?
Oh, yeah. Great times.
Say.
Yeah.
Must be nice. Let's take a break. But before we go, I got to tell you about my good friends over at Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. No appointment necessary. They're awesome stylists. We'll take care of you like they take care of me. So get to a Lady Jane's near you, and we'll see you guys right after the break.
It's a great day to get some Centron in your life. Okay. There it is. Centron, here we go. Gotta grab the cranberry. Oh wait, it's 2 for $4. Gotta double up with the classic as well. Centron World, baby. Centron, available at select Krogers, and if you wanna know how, go to @CentronWorld.com. You get dope like me. You know what? Why wait? Great taste, guaranteed.
Hey, it's Sean Jordan from the Sports Marketing Agency, and SMA wouldn't be who we are without our amazing partners.
Thank you so much, Sean. You know, at Detroit Wayne, we want to serve as a resource for you and your families. We offer mental health services, substance use disorder services throughout our communities, and we want to be that source and resource within the community.
If you or a loved one are suffering from a mental health or substance abuse issue, please don't hesitate to call 1-800-241-4949.
3 NBA championships. Detroit fans were there. 11 Stanley Cups. Detroit fans were there. 4 World Series wins. Detroit fans were there. And that one Lions playoff win in 1991. Yeah, Detroit fans were there. Woodward Sports, where the fans are.
All right, we're back here on the Morning Woodward Show live, woodwardsports.com. Adham, Beydoun, Jeff, Iafrate. All right, Jeff. Dan Campbell. We'll get to the Eric Kendricks news. I think it's irrelevant, guys. I really do. Actually, we're not going to get to it. I'm going to stop it here.
Okay, address it now.
Yeah, we're not. What are you? What? No.
No?
No.
Why?
No, Jeff. No. No means no.
You know,
Move
every
on.
player, especially the NFC North that's released, Lions fans are going to want him. Kendricks, though, he's 31. No.
Moving on.
He'll probably go somewhere
Dan
else.
Campbell, betting favorite to win Coach of the Year next year.
Rightfully so. Rightfully so.
Why?
Because of the momentum the Lions have.
Say it. Say the right word, and then I'll agree with you.
Well, the expectations as well.
No. One more try.
For what?
Story.
Well, of course, yeah.
He's
He's
got the story.
One of the better teams.
The players coach.
Yes.
Won 8 of 10 down the stretch.
Mm-hmm.
They got hot. Seattle won, booted them out of the playoffs. They got the story. He's got the story to win the award. My question is, what does he have to do to win it? Is it get
Obviously,
to the playoffs, or is it no? Is it get to the playoffs, or win the division? Two very different things.
I think winning the division is number one to me.
Guarantees it? I would agree.
Yeah,
I would
I
agree.
mean, Kevin O'Connell was a candidate because he won the division, despite how they look. So if you can win the division, I know Brian Dable won it and he didn't win the division, but it's a different story. I think the Lions, if they go 9-8, they're not winning the division. Because the Giants, Brian Dable won it because where the Giants were last year and what they did the following year. To win Coach of the Year, you go from 9-8, you got to win your division. You got to not only win your division, but you got to be pretty consistent during the regular season and how they look. So I think it's rightfully so. I think he should be a favorite. You look at the NFC, you look where the Lions stand. They're going to be one of the better teams. They have the best story. They're probably going to win their division. I like it. And I don't think people talk about the playoff stuff. The playoff stuff to me, Brian Dable, they won a playoff game. They beat the Vikings. And winning a playoff game, I think, is more likely this year than it will be because they're primed to do it, depending on what they do in free agency and the draft. But Dan, dude, he checks everything. So he was in the conversation last year down the stretch. He was moving up the to be a favorite for Coach of the Year. But last year wasn't the year. This year it could be because they're not going to start 1-6. So he has that going for him, hopefully. So we'll see.
He's got the story. He's got a national. How do I say this? National media are falling in love with the Detroit Lions.
Yeah.
For all the reasons except winning and success and history, which is fine. Again, you're jumping on board before it happens. I mean, that's ideal. That's what all the Detroit Lions fans are hoping for. They're hoping that all the years and all the decades of hurt and pain finally pay off and they can see a division title. And the 30-year wait, they can see a home playoff game, and they can win a playoff game, and they can maybe get to the NFC title game. And dare I ever say maybe in the next decade a Super Bowl. Who knows? That's what fans hold on to. But I think national, really, everyone's just in love with Dan Campbell, the character, not so much the coach, and I think that's a good and bad thing. I've given him a ton of credit for what Ben Johnson's become. I do think Ben Johnson is enabled by Dan Campbell's openness, his willingness to allow his teammates to kind of shine and really try things. I don't think Ben Johnson is as aggressive, as creative without Dan Campbell. Not that he couldn't be, but I just think why it worked so quickly was Dan was like, look, man, this is what I'm trying to do. He comes from a very progressive mindset on the offensive side of the ball with Sean Payton and his understanding of the game. So I think Dan, we all laugh at the character and how it started, and it was a disaster first season, but I think now you're seeing more of the coach. I think now when he talks, you're hearing him sound more like a coach. I'm actually optimistic for this season.
And it's not all about winning games. Obviously, if it was, Sirianni would have won it. So storyline, I think, is the main thing. But
it's what you do with what you have.
Yeah.
Dable had no business getting to the playoffs, Sirianni, let alone winning a playoff game.
And I think that narrative can still work for the Lions because we think they're one of the more talented rosters, but still a very young roster.
But when you're the betting favorite to win the North,
right,
and you're the betting favorite to win Coach of the Year, you have to win the North to win Coach of the Year. Because a guy, for example, a guy like Brian Flores, or excuse me, not Brian Flores,
Brian Dable.
D'Amico Ryans.
Or D'Amico,
sorry,
yeah.
excuse me. A guy like D'Amico Ryans, if they go 9-8 with the Texans, and he makes the wild card, and Dan Campbell goes 10-7 and makes the wild card,
give it to D'Amico.
Who gets the award?
To me, it's D'Amico.
Dan Campbell goes 12-5 or 11-6, but wins the division.
Yeah, it's Dan's.
Ends a 30-year drought in Detroit. Dan wins the award. It's that simple. So to me, it's about winning the division. They win the division, the awards will come.
And I think the most exciting thing has nothing to do with him winning the award or the Lions winning the division. I'm curious to see what they do with expectations. Like, that's something that Dan and this regime haven't had yet. So you had a great season last year, 8-2 down the stretch. You expected to have a good offseason. Pressure's on, and I'm curious with Dan and the kind of coach he is. It's not about will he get his players ready. The guy's always going to have his team ready to play. But how do the Lions hold? How do they hold up early in the season? That's a big thing, too, I'm looking forward to see is Dan and the Lions with pressure, with expectations to go out and win your division, for Dan to be a favorite to win Coach of the Year. I love it because you're going to find out a lot, not just about the Lions, but about Dan this season with those types of expectations. It's real.
JB, let me ask you. We talk about expectations in town. We talk about a coach that's going to be the betting favorite, a team that's going to be the betting favorite for the North. Your thoughts on Dan's evolution, his growth, and what the expectations are this year for this football team?
Oh, expectations for sure are NFC North champions.
Yep.
My expectations will be NFC champions, but then again, I'm thinking bigger picture overall. But I can definitely see Dan Campbell growing a lot more as a head coach and definitely as a player coach that around the city people truly love and are willing to embrace.
Right.
That's why I think that if he can get everything on the right track, we don't start out 1-6 like we did this past season, everything will fall into place. He has that number one spot. Although D'Amico Ryans, as you brought up as well, Jeff, if everything falls into place with them, I mean, the ESPN 30 for 30 writes itself.
Dude, yeah.
A African-American head coach comes back to the team that drafted him, and you have these abundant of picks that you can just pick and choose in the draft who you want to build this team with. And if they bond and gel well together, they could do something as well. But if Dan Campbell can win the North, he's a fan favorite Coach of the Year.
What's the minimum for you? Like, if Dan comes out, and we talked about this, and now that we had JB, I want your thoughts. 10-7. Does that sit well with you, knowing they just went 9-8 after starting 1-6? If they start better and they finish 10-7, what's the minimum you expect from the Lions this year for you to be satisfied, win total wise?
I guess 10 wins. 10 win is the
because you got to get
minimum.
better.
Yeah, you got to get better. I'm not saying it's going to be a dramatic jump in improvement from the year before. Like, it's not saying we're going to go undefeated or anything like that, or at home or anything. But still, 10 wins is the minimum.
Yeah. And I would agree. I think 10, you got to at least be better than last year.
Okay, you got the positive stuff out. Talk to me. What's an unacceptable season?
Ooh.
What's an unacceptable season?
Well, we say this.
8 and 9?
Context matters, but if you have Jared Goff the whole season and they're 9-8.
You have your quarterback, most of your team the whole year. Every team has injuries. I don't want to hear it. What's an unacceptable win total?
If you win 9 or less games.
Wow.
I shouldn't say unacceptable, but I would be
that's
disappointed.
What I'm asking.
Okay,
that's
then
what I'm asking.
Unacceptable, maybe 7-8 games. 9, I'd say meh. You had a better roster and you won 9.
For me, I think 7 is unacceptable.
Absolutely, because then at that
8
point,
and 9,
you're
9
missing
and
the
8.
playoffs.
It's not that I could live with it, but I could at least try to find the answer to why. Why are they this way? If they're 7 and 10, 6 and 11, just get out. Just get out. But I don't think that's going to happen. I do think this is a 10-win team, like JB said, at the floor. I think they're 10 wins. The division is so easy. Green Bay's not going to look any good, even with Aaron Rodgers. They're going to struggle this year. Chicago's not doing anything this year.
How about I do this? Minimum playoffs. You can't miss the playoffs.
Yeah, I would be
shocked. That would be huge.
I think missing the playoffs would be a big failure.
Disaster.
Because who's going to make it over you this year? Seattle? Look, they drafted well last year. I really have to give them credit. I'm still taking Jared Goff over Geno Smith. So give me the Lions any day over Seattle. Give me the Lions over the Bears. Give me the Lions over Green Bay. Give me the Lions over Minnesota. Only because now I think Minnesota do have a clear problem that they can't fix.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to release Kendricks. They're going to release Thielen. They may have to consider releasing Dalvin. It's going to be difficult because you're going to want and have to pay Justin Jefferson. He deserves it.
He does.
He's the best receiver in the NFL, you could argue. But you're paying Kirk Cousins $35+ million. There's not much money then.
Yeah, no.
There's not much money there. So they got to figure it out. I like them more than the Panthers, more than the Falcons, more than the Saints, more than the Bucks. I like them more than the Seahawks, which I already mentioned. Don't like them more than the Niners. I do like them more than the Rams. I like them more than I like them more than every team in the NFC outside of the Eagles, the Niners, and maybe the Cowboys.
That's it. Yeah, I'd agree.
So you are the 4th best team in the NFC. Missing the playoffs, I think, is a complete disaster. I think the 6-7 win total is unacceptable. Could you get away with 8 and 9, 9 and 8? To me, I would love to know why your record is what it is. But I think it would be a huge embarrassment. I do. And I'm not setting Super Bowl expectation or even win 2 playoff game expectations. I'm talking about winning your division only. Host a game at Ford Field. Maybe win a playoff game. That'd be amazing. That would be an excellent season. But let's not kid ourselves. You have 2 picks in the top 18. You've got 4 in the top 55. You have some money in free agency. There's no excuse for the Detroit Lions not to be playing in late January. No reason. I don't want to hear it.
George says, you guys are being biased. The Vikings cutting Cooks, laughing face. Please just stop. The cap is fake and can't be worked around it.
Yeah, tell the Minnesota Vikings that because they just released Eric Kendricks. And they didn't want to, but they had to because of the salary cap. And just so you know, buddy, they have one of the worst defenses in all the NFL. Losing Eric Kendricks doesn't help them.
I'm more curious about the you guys are biased. Okay. Well, you just said the teams you wouldn't take them over. 49ers, Eagles, maybe the Cowboys. I would love for George to make an argument. What other team do you think is better than the Lions?
Minnesota went 11-0 in the regular season in 1-possession games.
It's not happening again.
They can do that 10 straight years. If the Minnesota Vikings went 10 years in a row, playing 11 one-possession games a year, they would be lucky over a 10-year period to finish 500 in one-possession games. What they did this past year, impressive, unrealistic. I dare Minnesota to play 7 one-possession. 7, not 11. 7 one-possession games next year. They'll be lucky to be 4-3.
Why don't we just look at head-to-head matchups? Lions took care of him late in the season, and they almost beat him on the road in Minnesota if it wasn't for the big play at the end by KJ Osborne. That was it. So don't tell me we're being biased.
You're
They're
biased.
5-1 in their division.
You're a jackass. You're biased because the Lions are the betting favorite to win the North, and Campbell's the betting favorite to win Coach of the Year.
Yeah, no,
shut the. Why do you even talk? Why is he on the show? Get the fuck out of here, man.
The expectations are unreal, dude.
What a waste of time.
I respect it.
What a waste of oxygen you are. What a waste of oxygen. God, we could be doing so much more with you.
I know. Shame on me.
We'll take a break.
Shame
When we
on
get back, we'll continue the conversation. We'll wrap up, and then we'll get to Mailbag. But before we go, Jeff, our good friends over at Cintron.
Let me tell you about them, guys. Cintron is the official energy drink of the Detroit Red Wings. Right now, they have an exclusive offer for Woodward sports fans for their limited edition Red Wings 6-pack, only $15 plus free shipping. Head to drinkcintron.com/Woodward and try it today. All 3 delicious Cintron flavors in one: classic sugar-free, and cranberry. Try it. drinkcintron.com/Woodward.
You don't have to go to the beach, man. You don't have to get your butt crack full of sand. You just need a little chili peppers, man, to get that glowing beach chili peppers tan. Woo!
With 26 locations in the Metro Detroit area and more coming, Chili Peppers Tanning is where you'll find the cleanest salons in the D. Join the Pepper Club for the best deals on unlimited tanning. Head to chilipepperstanning.com.
You just need a little chili peppers, man.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. They were talking to one another.
Woodward Sports.
Let me tell you about our friends over at Alta, because at Alta, uptime matters. Alta Equipment has everything you need to get the job done. If you have a big project coming up, Alta has you covered. Call them today, 844-GO-TO-ALTA. That's 844-GO-TO-ALTA today.
All right, we're back here on the Morning Woodward Show, live, woodwardsports.com. Live from Feldman Chevrolet Novi. All right, Jeff. John Morant suspended. Lamar Jackson apparently having a kumbaya moment with his GM. And what the hell did
Aaron
Glenn say about Jeff Okudah?
He had some comments on Jeff Okudah. He said, quote, "He has to improve, I will say that, along with everybody else on their defense." Of course, not going to single him out, which he's right. And he knows that. And he did improve. But there is always going to be peaks and valleys when you play that position. Did you hear that last part? Peaks and valleys. Which more have you seen of Jeff Okudah? The peaks or the valleys?
We're not in Montana, Aaron. There are no mountains here. I haven't seen a single peak. Outside of what? Minnesota?
Yeah.
with Jeff Okudah. Maybe Chicago because of the pick six.
Yeah. He made that play.
So I've seen valley for 3.5 years.
Jesus.
And then a peak, and then valley. And then it was another peak against Chicago. And then it was back to the valley. And then it was under the valley because he got benched twice. But nobody wants to talk about it. So I don't know what the hell Aaron Glenn's talking about. Moving on. John Morant suspended. What the hell is he doing?
So... yeah, we talked about Giles probably about a month ago when he had some situation. I think it was the one with the laser pointer, and we talked about it. John Morant, man, and Jalen Rose, if you haven't checked it out, said he commented on this. I think he was spot on, because if anyone could relate, it's Jalen Rose. He talked about that. Like, for John Morant is realizing this right now, and Jalen, it took a while for him to realize this, and he talked about it. When you go from being a member of your family, and this is his words, a member of your family, to the breadwinner in your family, you become the leader. And John Morant, the actions he's been doing, going to the club, flashing a gun, it's like, dude, come on. You're an NBA superstar. Why are you there? Why are you putting yourself in a position like that to be compromised? And who John Morant is, there's comments that Jaws said in the past about being in the West. I'm not worried about anybody in the West and who the Grizzlies are.
The Grizzlies, to me, Western Conference Final
are one of the most, yes, true. One of the most frustrating teams to just watch in general, watch their comments and what they say. Very frustrating. But John Morant, to see what he did, man, it's just, and apparently he's suspended indefinitely, so they don't even know when he'll be back. It could be the rest of the season.
I hope he figures it out.
But that's a bad look. I mean, it's terrible.
It's unacceptable, man.
You can't put yourself in that type of position.
To be in that position. Don't throw it away, man.
And you got to the NBA and are doing this to get away from that stuff. Like, this is who you are now. You're an NBA superstar, John Morant. You're not John Morant, going to the club, flashing a gun. That's not who you are anymore. And Jalen Rose, I think, said it best. So if you haven't already, go check that clip out.
I haven't read a better comment probably in the last few months than this one. Happy Camper Harry. He said, I know we beat the Packers last game, but I've seen Goff be affected by cold weather too much to trust him to go into the playoffs with. Grab Stroud, or better yet, Richardson. I got news for you.
Did he actually write that, or better yet, Richardson?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. Just making sure.
It gets really good here.
Just making sure.
This is my favorite part of the show. You know why? If you guys didn't know, the Detroit Lions play in a fucking dome. The weather doesn't affect him. And last I checked, if you're a good football team and you win your division, you get to host playoff games.
At home.
At home,
doing them.
Which is in a dome.
I'm just doing the math, yeah.
So
no, you're right.
Take your cold weather and small hand comments and shove them up your ass.
Wow.
And never say that again.
You don't. Well, that's yeah. That part's optional, but
a bit rude of me.
No, I agree.
I can't help myself.
If you win your division, yeah, you.
I'm pretty sure the Lions play in a dome.
Yeah, they do.
I'm pretty sure they do.
Yeah, they do.
I've been there once or twice.
It's true.
I can't confirm or deny.
Steve says 12 dome games this season. Mike Bell says, "You mean to tell me it doesn't get cold in the dome?" LOL. Yeah, Mike, we are letting you know that.
Oh God,
we are letting you know that
he played just fine at the Meadowland.
Yeah, and that was the thing too. People talk about
did just fine against the Giants.
It's always, and they won it. Yeah, they beat the Jets.
He did actually he outplayed Aaron Rodgers at Lambeau. He played better than Aaron Rodgers did at Lambeau Field.
Even with those gloves on.
What are we talking about?
With those gloves on.
What are we talking about? He made the throws when he had to. He made the throws when he had to make them.
You know what I love, too? One of the biggest things I love in the NFL is when you hear guys like Josh or anybody come out and say, oh, we love the cold. We embrace playing in the cold. And then in reality, nobody in the NFL likes playing in the cold. That's just, it's sorry, you're a human being. You don't like it. But guys will be like, oh, we love the home field advantage playing in the cold. Even Buffalo, those guys, as much as they'll admit, yeah, it is an advantage, none of those guys want to play in the cold. So, again, the whole cold thing is just overrated in itself. What do we got here?
It's overrated. We're going to take a break.
I'm just reading some of these comments.
You're fine. We'll take a break. When we get back, we'll read all the comments. We'll get to Mailbag. Drop your questions in the chat, and Jeff and I will get to them in just a minute. But before we go, Jeff, our good friends over at Guardian Alarm.
Guardian Alarm, we talk about good defenses, right? Well, I'll give you a good one. It's Guardian Alarm. Customized solutions from real experts. Their professional technicians take the time to recommend security and automation solutions specific to your needs. 24/7 professional monitoring. You can call them anytime, day or night. Know that a Guardian team member will stay on the phone with you for as long as you need. Your safety and security deserves technology that's been proven to work and people who have been proven to care. Call 1-800-STAY-OUT today.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
My name is Lee. I've lost 35 pounds on the Custom Health Center program. So the three biggest benefits that I've gotten from this program has been I'm not snoring anymore, I have a lot of energy, it's great, and oh, by the way, look at this. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding.
Call us at 844-789-THIN or visit CustomHealthCenters.com for a free consultation and get started for as little as $5 a day.
It's a great day to get some Centron in your life. Okay. There it is. Centron, here we go. Gotta grab the cranberry. Oh wait, it's 2 for $4. Gotta double up with the classic as well. Centron World, baby. Centron, available at select Krogers, and if you want to know how, go to @CentronWorld.com. You can get dope like me. You know what? Why wait? Great taste, guaranteed.
You have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper, tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
All right, we're back here on the Morning Woodward Show live, woodwardsports.com. Mailbag time. We'll get to all your questions. Jeff, let's just start going through them, man. We'll start with Mike Bell. Would you rather trade out of pick 6 or 18? Variant, dependent, depending on who's available at 6. But I would say 6. You want to trade back from 6.
Yeah.
Will Anderson's off the board. Quarterback's off the board.
And you could get probably more for 6, depending on if
you
a
can get a
quarterback's
lot
there.
for 6.
Yeah.
You can get a future one and a nice little.
Yeah,
maybe
18 might just
pick.
be BPA. You might just to take.
18 is fine. You could trade out of it, but you could also use 18 to move up if there's somebody available that you don't want to miss on.
Joey Miller says, Mailbag, what's your thoughts on Matty P possibly going to coach in Philly? Did you see that?
Oh, that would be interesting. I wonder what Darius Slay would think of
Dude,
that.
even like, are you joking me?
At this point, honest to God, why is Matt Patricia employed? Like, I know we want people to have jobs and stuff, but like, at most he can be an assistant. But like, anywhere near scheming any strategy on defense, let alone offense, like that, what are we doing, guys? Like, come on. I'm all for people getting 5th and 7th chances, but come on, what are we doing?
Jack says, Jeff, are you going to be watching the Big Ten tourney this week? I will. I actually saw Michigan, by the way.
Who gives a shit
How many
about
close
college
games Michigan
basketball?
lost? I know you don't have. You're not
gives a
fond of
shit?
Juwan Howard, but Michigan's this year struggled to close
I told
games.
you.
They failed to
Not
close
this year.
a lot of close games.
I told you last year,
Yeah.
and you're mean. You can't say those things about Juwan Howard. He got to he got so far in the tournament, Adam. The way he's leading the program is unacceptable. I don't like it. It's not a fit. They've regressed. I miss Beeline. I miss good basketball. I miss being entertained by good basketball. It's a joke. They're not well coached. They don't do anything well. It's pathetic. But they talk a big game. Shit program. Sorry.
You know what's funny? Funny story, by the way. Actually, I got to bring this up. It's because it is funny. When me and JV were out, we were watching the fights. I had one of my buddies and his brother came. His brother comes right up to me and goes, by the way, he's a Michigan fan.
Yeah.
And he's only seen, because he was convinced you hate Michigan. I had explained to him that you do not hate Michigan.
Oh,
But
okay.
he's only seen the clips of you talking about Michigan. He goes, hey, tell Adam, just shut up about Michigan. All right. And the only video he referenced was you choosing your fan base and throwing the Michigan helmets and get those motherfuckers out of here.
Well, they should be thankful because I was completely wrong and they got to enjoy college football.
If anything, maybe you were the reason. I don't want to give you too much credit, but maybe you were the reason there.
Oh, God.
Ryan says, Mailbag, not that this would happen, but if by the grace of God, Jalen Carter and Will Anderson drop, who are you taking between
Will
the
Anderson.
two?
Will Anderson.
Yeah.
Yeah, over Jalen Carter.
Yeah.
And you know why? If Will Anderson's available at 6, I not only take him, I move a future 2nd and a future 3rd, and pick 55 if I have to move from 18 and 11 or 12, and I go get Kalijah Cansey and I secure the whole defensive front.
Yeah. Those two guys up front. Now
That's what I would do.
Now we're not playing games this year.
But I could sit at 18 and maybe get a corner, but that's not a guarantee.
Yeah.
So
or you move up and get one of the better corners. Either way.
But definitely Will Anderson over Jalen Carter for me.
Mailbag is Adam going to get high this year at the draft.
Moving on.
Steven says, Mailbag, with free agency starting next week, who do you see Brad Holmes focusing in on?
I
guess positional. I mean, we'll get into players.
I really want to say it's the offensive line and linebacker. I don't think there's money to spend on one of the better corners that's available. The only way you're going to go out and get an excellent corner to me is by trading assets for Ramsey. Who's going to be available that you're going to want to pay? And even if you afford a Bradley Roby, a Patrick Peterson who's very old, had a productive year last year, but
and that might be one of the guys
that's a tough one.
I would say corner and guard and linebackers up there. Any of those positions, else Brad's going to fill one of those out. So, but you're right about the top corners. I don't think they're paying money for those guys. So go get Jalen Ramsey. Mailbag, do we still take Carter if he slides 6? Yes, we would all agree there. Terrell says, Mailbag, when are you going to start taking phone calls again? I'm going to ask this every day until y'all answer. We actually are going to open
tomorrow.
Yeah, we're going to start getting back into phone calls.
Tomorrow we're back. Sorry, Fish is an idiot. Phone lines are always open.
Phone
lines are always open, boys. Sorry,
Fish caught a straight. He's not even here,
but
man.
Fish is an idiot. So here we are.
Charles says, Mailbag, no, yeah. By the way, the Carter stuff, the Jalen Carter stuff, if he's there at 6, me and Adam are already on board. He's Come be a line. Come be a line.
All right, what else we
Herb
got
says,
here?
why isn't Jamal a running back one? He just did it. Well, I like Jamal a lot, and I think he's durable, checks all the tangibles, intangibles. The big thing about Jamal, though, is you saw this year when he was healthy, the run game couldn't get going. Maybe the consistency isn't what you expect. Like for Jamal in the year he had, especially at the goal line, breaking Barry Sanders' touchdown record, it's impressive. But let's not act like Jamal is typically your RB1 every single year. Guys can have great seasons, but still not be true number one running backs, if that makes sense. But today's NFL aren't really revolved all the time around true number one running backs. It's usually it's a group effort, and I think Jamal can be a part of that effort. To say he's an RB1, I don't know about that one. David says, can I come work at WSN and cover the USFL and XFL? The segment can be WSN 8 the Acho.
What?
Yeah, by the way, the USFL and XFL,
Don't say it. We don't acknowledge that
I can't
fake
do it.
sport.
I can't do it. I
On the
can't
show.
do it. I tried. Doesn't
what
hit the
else we
same.
got?
It doesn't hit the same.
All right, what else we got?
To the XFL,
Let's
man.
see.
Come on.
What'd you say?
The disrespect for the XFL. Come
You
on.
watch?
I watch it here and there.
What's here and there?
Here and
JB,
there. So like week one.
you might have the most short-lived role on the show ever in your life.
See, I knew one of those bad takes was going to get me eventually.
XFL?
XFL, yes.
Well, you just like watching football. So
Well, of course.
you don't. I mean, you don't care. It could be me, you, and Adam out there. You'll still tune in.
Man, this guy's Fish 2.0.
Well, you don't watch sumo and stuff like that. So
Watch what?
Well, it's just
sumo
as
wrestling.
bad. It's just as bad.
Cricket.
Well,
No, I can't do
JB,
that.
I love you, man.
What's up?
I love you.
Love you too.
You're like my bro.
Yeah.
Don't waste your time watching the XFL or the USFL.
Well, no,
Don't do it.
It's not like anything else
It's
is
a
on.
waste of time. Dude, go beat your meat for all I care. Do anything else other than watch that garbage product.
Jesus Christ.
Don't do it. Don't do it, man.
So what happens if the XFL actually lasts for 2 or 3 years?
I'll tell you, it'll never happen.
But if it does?
No one's still watching, and they'll lose money like the
JB's watching.
WNBA. Nobody watches, but they're still around. They lose money every year, but they're still around. The XFL can be that. I'm not watching it.
Oh my God. Jesse says, Mailbag Jeff, would you rather see John Jones versus Stipe or John Jones versus Francis? You know that answer.
No, it's John Jones Stipe. They already said it.
No, I'm saying he said, what would you rather see? Francis
Oh.
isn't happening, but what would you rather see? Come on,
Francis
JB.
will get his ass
JB.
kicked by John. I think Stipe has a better chance.
JB, this answer's easy, right? It's Francis Ngannou.
No.
What? The scariest man on planet Earth?
Scariest man on planet Earth.
He's
Get the fuck out of here, man. John Jones, scariest man on Earth, and so is Khabib, number 1 and 2. But the point is, fight-wise, Ngannou has no chance. No chance at all against a technical fighter like John Jones.
It's John Jones all day.
Stipe
Sorry,
at
Jeff.
least has a chance because he can at least
hold
work
on.
other aspects of just fighting.
Hold on.
Yo, please entertain me. I'm actually really
Are you
interested.
going to tell me
Yes,
that
I am.
Stipe has a better chance to
Against
beat
John
John
Jones.
than
Yes.
Francis Ngannou?
Yes.
Okay.
Call me crazy, right?
I'll live with it. I just vehemently disagree with you, but I'll live with it.
Why?
Because we have 3 minutes left. I don't
Why?
have enough time to break this down. Francis.
I think it's a better style fight between Stipe and John. What's Ngannou going to threaten John Jones with? What? His right hand?
Well, he's added wrestling now. Good luck throwing him around.
He doesn't need to throw him around.
Yeah, he's got power.
He didn't throw Rangan.
I'll tell you
know
what
he did?
John won't fight Stipe the same way
forced
he'll
him-
fight Francis.
He forced him into the cage, and he got him into a position that he's not comfortable with. John Jones didn't do anything special. He's just smarter than everybody. Ngannou has no chance, in my opinion. I think I'm stupid. I really do. Look, it's not my sport, but that's just what I think of the fight.
All right.
That's what I think of the fight.
You can have Stipe. John's going to run through Stipe, though. I'm sorry.
He's going to run through anybody.
Yeah, no, John's a beast.
He's never
He really
lost
is.
for a reason. Daniel Cormier, the best wrestler ever.
Get humbled, yeah, twice.
They didn't get humbled, got baptized.
Yeah.
Come on. I don't know. Maybe I'm just thinking way too much of John Jones, but I don't think the fight's even close.
Mike Bell says Mailbag Bijan or Jamal Williams. Come on. Mike Bell.
What?
Bijan or Jamal Williams?
Bijan. I'm joking. Jamal Williams.
Mike Bell. Let's see.
God, what do we got here?
Now everyone's on John Jones. John Jones versus Brock Lesnar. Okay, well.
Oh, God.
Mailbag, JB, pick between Adam or Jeff. We're not. JB's first day, you make a pick. Well, technically, I went out with JB this weekend. So, JB, you don't got to say it, but it's okay.
I got you.
We're hanging out, so it's a little different. Happy Camper says, this just in, Patrick Mahomes to retire from football and play Major League Baseball with the team that drafted him, the Detroit Tigers. The Tigers win World Series.
0 chance. We could sign 4 free
I love
agents.
that, too.
It's not happening. All right, what else we got here?
Mailbag, did Meadows hit a home run last year? Jeez.
You know who has an Austin
I love
Meadows
the Tigers
jersey?
talk. That's
Ryan Lenz.
Yeah, yes. Yeah, I know he does.
Poor guy. All right, we're out of here. Thank you guys for tuning in. Appreciate it on a Monday. We appreciate you guys always tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the mock drafts. Keep submitting them. Tomorrow we'll take a ton of phone calls from all of you at home. Should be fun. First day back in the studio with JB. Welcome to the team, JB. We're happy to have you. For myself, Jeff Iafrate, thank you for tuning in. We're live here at Feldman. Check out Big D Energy. They'll be live here as well. We'll see you guys tomorrow.